Hey, we are live. Thank you for joining us. It is that time of the week. It is the Wandering Isles. We are here today with Brian as Adriana, Kian as Dash, Rory as Eos, John as Weslyn, Richard as Slate, Kyle as Eldrin. I'm losing it, man. I'm losing it. I'm also thrown off by the fact that we don't have Busy this week. And so, like, I have a process in my head, and John isn't normally in this corner, and it's just, oh my god. Chaos reigns. Kian, you look older for some reason. Suspicious. I would like to wish you formally a happy birthday. Happiest of birthday, sirs. I can't believe you will have to share it with an offspring.
Happy birthday.
Crazy.
Older, but not more mature.
Not more mature. Midlife crisis.
The whole 15 years old.
That's it.
Yeah, apparently he got a year older and went into string vests straight away.
I think that was the heat that took him into string vests, to be fair.
Drinking Stella all day.
Do we not call them wife beaters anymore? All right.
We do. We call
I was going to say, someone check on Milda.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Trust me, I know her pretty well. If anyone's getting beaten, it's not her. Domestic violence aside, good way to start the show. I believe you are on recap, sir, if I remember correctly.
I am indeed. Welcome back, everyone, to the land of Arness and to the Wandering Isles. So in our current arc, our lovely clusterfuck of chucklefucks departed Saganatochi a matter of days ago, leaving it burning in the background and making haste to Azazaki for some peaceful, relaxing tea times in Eosville. They were sadly mistaken. There was no tea, there was no peace, there was only mystery and confusion as to the whereabouts of said Eosville residents, notably Mama Eos, Dada Eos, adopted Dada Eos, non-bio Dada Eos, one of the Dada Eoses. Anyways, upon a bit of investigation and fuckery in the Undercroft, Eos encountered a rather benign, unobtrusive, nothing out of the ordinary staff. I lie. As it turns out, that opened a magic portal and sent our clusterfuck of chucklefucks all the way to Ashrest in the northwest of Desolata. Not an ideal place, harsh environment, desert. But a place where luckily we did encounter Dada Eos, Commander Fricks. The party went up to the military installation of Ashrest and politely knocked on the door and asked, could we please see Papa Eos? To which they said, sure, my lovely adventurers, of course. Was a bit more tense than that, I'm paraphrasing. Dada Eos invited us to join him for some light conversation aboard his ship, undercover. So the party made a decision that Eos, Dash and Hatsu would swim out to the ship, the others would remain on shore keeping watch. Conversations were had aboard the ship. Advice was given from Commander Fricks to all members of the party. And a subtle hint that there was someone captured and imprisoned within the military installation who, may not be guilty of any crimes. We don't think so. They were imprisoned for how they looked. We're pretty sure they did not commit any crimes that the DM will punish us for down the line. A plan was enacted upon the trios returning to shore. Adriana and Weslyn become invisible through various means, fluttered in, popped Elbird Lady into a little portable container courtesy of Remington, and departed the scene rather quickly. Not wanting to hang about and wait to be uncovered, the party got the fuck out, onto the cover of Moonlight, headed east, and here we pick up.
Okay. All of that was true. I've never heard someone lie in a recap before, but besides that, all of that was good.
I didn't lie.
It is...
What part did I lie about? It's all true.
The part where you said you lied, that specific part. You said, I lied! That quote is where you lied.
I was watching clips of Vader in Force Unleashed and it just kind of stuck in my head.
Oh yeah. I lied! Let's kick in. We are in the vast wastelands of Desolata. The desolate wastelands, if you would believe it. I do not.
A bit on the nose, but okay.
This entire campaign is on the nose. Note to self, rewrite the whole campaign so it's on the nose of a giant. That makes sense. Later. That'll be really funny. Okay. So we are in the Desolata Wastelands. We are Lost? Found? What are you guys doing? Tell me.
I believe we are trying to... we're recovering our tracks rather effectively, if I'm remembering correctly. And I believe we need to make a decision, folks. Where do we go from here? Do we keep plowing into the desert, head to the coast?
I thought that how we left it was we were heading in as much as we could before it was a case of starting to get tired. And then Slate had suggested building his like over-covered little rat hole essentially in the sand and stuff, using the slat as an extra kind of stability and shelter kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys were basically working on that. The thing about the slart, that reminds me, y'all don't have a horse to pull it. I don't know if we discussed that last week, but
No,
Eos's
Duck
horse
is at home.
is, yeah, sitting in a horse motel, chilling like a villain. So you
But
do-
right now it's folded up and in my pocket, so
That's fine. Yeah, just when you put, because at some point I think you took the slart out last week and you were like, oh, we can use this. Just for context, unless Slate wants to turn into a horse. Can Slate turn into a horse? Okay, we'll talk about this later.
I don't mind at all could pull it.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I mean, the main thing then from here is to figure out where you want to go, what you want to do, why you're here, and with what purpose, and what now, and does the bird lady do anything, and why is Weslyn?
I think why is Weslyn is an end game question that we are not ready
Son of
to
a-
The
answer.
very end of the game, BBEG.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That might even be epilogue.
So what you're saying is if we kill you now, we win. Cool.
Yes. 100%.
Talk about.
No,
Um,
you can't go to the painters before it's time to. There's like this weird kind of shield.
Yeah. Except there isn't. If you guys just kill your BBG right now, it's over.
Well, let's not do that. I mean, I have so many more weeks booked.
What do we get if we do kill them? Like, what do we win?
Heartache, mostly?
Cake.
Trauma, probably?
A cake. Just a cake.
I want a refund.
Full refund.
So that's what the song on the intro is singing about. Let's bake a cake just means let's kill the BBG.
That has
Yep.
no context for YouTube watchers. There's a song that plays in the intro that's Let's Make a King, and they say it's Let's Bake a Cake. And that's
It
now
is-
become
it
a
is
whole
making-
thing.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, that's...
The cake is a lie.
Come watch the Twitch stream. You'll see what we're talking about. Just plug the Twitch, why not? So
as we're
bringing you
it's-
in character so that we maintain the flow of RP. Let's take it away.
Dash will look at his watch and check the time.
DM will also check the time. Bear with.
He's good.
Just gonna keep checking his watch. Dash can't read the time very good.
I thought it was about
It's
the
7:28.
equivalent of like 10, 11 o'clock when we got her out one night.
Yeah, it was 7:28
Yeah.
when you guys were doing things, but I think you had to wait till midnight to meet him, right? Or was it 9?
We
You
had
to
to wait to
9.
9.
9 o'clock. Yeah.
So it would have been 10
Which
during the
that-
breakout, yeah. So
That's
it's
like
about,
45 minutes.
let's call it 11:28 for measures.
Nice.
So I think we agree that we keep going until we're at the point where okay, we need to stop now. So we get a few hours clearance of ash rest, and yeah, if we're at that point, I guess we gotta cover up as
Yeah,
per.
we talked about going far enough that we wouldn't suffer exhaustion, but also knowing the heat of the sun in an open desert with no covering. We don't have the composure as a group for that. We don't have the supplies, etc., etc. We're not equipped. So the discussion was to move at night to stay warm in the cold, also to cover distance and cover our tracks, and then to stop with enough time to build the kind of sand shelter that we talked about to get out of the sun. And I suppose we could be talking while we're preparing that, I suppose, as to where the next steps lead. But that's where we left off, was around about that area.
Well, I
So yeah,
would
we're
like-
looking for somewhere to build, basically.
As they're looking for somewhere to build, Dash is going to try and kind of gauge a sense of direction. He knows where Ash Rest is to the west, so would he know where was it Limel Timarot remains, Virtes, Palparoth, etc., where they are relative to Ashrest is now, and distance-wise in terms of days travel.
That'll take me a few minutes to figure out for you, but yeah, the basic gist of it is that, I mean, it depends on how your transport moves, right? So you guys on foot, I assume, with no real other options. Palparoth is one of the furthest away from you, and that's 11 days. So everything is within the compass of 11 days. Walking.
Okay.
If you were on a horse, it would be about 3 to 4. But walking on foot, it's about roughly 11 days. I had to work that out earlier. But everything would be within that circular diagram, if that makes sense.
Would you have a rough idea of which one would be closest?
Except the pyramid, Rory, because I knew you were going to ask. That's actually but nobody knows how far away that is.
Yes.
Would he what? Sorry,
He
what was the question?
just does this in the distance. Where is it?
Would you know which settlement that he's aware of would be closest?
Maybe let's find out. Let's find out. That's the best I can give you. I'll take a few minutes to do that while you guys RP about something not involving me. Awesome.
Dash is just trying to look on the horizon, going, I'm sure that way.
So much sand.
Slade, how are we going to arrange this? How do we do it? You tell us, and we'll get it done.
The key thing is to be on the backside of a dune, which means visually we're obstructed from anyone following us. It means the sand that overflows the top covers us, so we can only be seen from one side. And equally, if we were to build it further down the dune, it may even be somewhat closed even to a straight-on view if enough sand and enough wind. So it's just a matter of going down a dune and starting to put in supports, use some tarps, anything we have, taut, anything we can use to prop them up to build that shelf to put the sand on. And like I said, you can put tarps down the front and layer the sand, etc.
If I give Albie a visualization of what we're looking for, can I have him scout on like ahead and above so that he can try and hopefully get us a good spot, Roper?
Yep. Absolutely. I have answers. I have rough answers, but it's based also on a roll from Dash. So I'm gonna get 2 rolls.
Yeah.
Madriana, from Albie, I want a investigation, survival, or perception check, depending on what you're trying to do here. If you're trying to find a good place to just camp in general, I'll give you investigation or perception. If you're trying to find a place that's uninterrupted by passing carts, for example, or animals of the wasteland, or whatever, that's survival. Dash, I need a history check from, please. Let's see how much you paid attention in class.
History check.
That's
Class?
9 perception from Albie.
9 perception from Albie, okay.
Oh, that's a 4 history from Dash.
All right. Do you want to use your birthday inspiration for that?
Do you know what? I will. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Much better. That's an 18.
All right. 18 is much better. 9 from Albie. So perception, looking for space. You find an open space amongst all the other open spaces. But it is resting behind a dune, which means that in the current trajectory of wind, you are protected.
I went out to Slate then.
In terms of locations and where to go, it depends on which direction you go. You kind of have them all ahead of you, okay? Palparoth is absolutely massive. Like, it could take hours and hours and hours to cross Palparoth. So for context of where we are in terms of this, some of these locations that I speak to you about are combined smaller than that city. I want to put that into context because of how long it takes to get to each of these places. Palparoth is 11 days. Virtes is about 13. They are in different directions. So Palparoth from you is pretty much due east. Virtes is about roughly southeast. Timaroth and the Emberhold Courts are northeast, respectively taking 6 days for Emberhold Courts and probably 8 to 9 for Timaroth. Ilmel is to the south, pretty much southeast as well. It would be directly in line of you going to Virtes. That would take roughly a week on foot. And I think I said Virtes already, so there you go.
The Emberhold Court, you said, was 6 days.
yeah, like 5 to 6 days, weather pending on all of this, 5 to 6 days of solid travel. You're not on horseback, you're not by Slate, so there's no opportunity for downtime or rests during that, so you have to include rests in that schedule. That would only factor in if you were going through on a cart or a Slate or whatever, to give you context. Just something to note for spellcasters, because this campaign is brutal.
Okay,
but
and
you can also
just,
use hit die for that, by the way. Sorry, go ahead.
just on the, I suppose the Emberhold courts being the closest, they're south coastal.
They are coastal along what would be the north coast of Desolata, but to you guys is probably northeast. Yeah, from you. You can just follow kind of the coastline.
Yeah,
You're not directly on the coastline now, but if you did follow the coastline that you were already in the direction you were going, you'd eventually get to the Emberhold courts. Yeah. There isn't much there in terms of like a living, functioning place. It's mostly a place where like crimes are assessed, judged. There's prisons there and stuff, and there is a small town surrounding it, but mostly like political folk and police and stuff like that.
Okay. So just in terms of safety for this particular party, Emberhold Courts is risky. I suppose every fucking place is risky.
Shimmeroth is probably fine. There's a big hole in it, but other than that, like, yeah, you're not like.
Shimmeroth was 6 days or so as well, wasn't it?
It was about 8 days, 8, 9, I think, somewhere in there.
Shimmeroth.
There's really nothing there. You can go there if you want to. It's not going to help your journey though.
Yeah. Because I suppose we're saying that. I suppose Dash could be thinking this out loud, kind of saying it out loud to himself, and anyone can overhear it. In terms of resources, transportation, my assumption would be Emberhold Courts would have some sort of aquatic transportation.
Which, yeah, well, probably, but they would be like guarded ships and stuff. They wouldn't have like a fisherman up there, if that makes sense.
Okay, and how do you pronounce that? Limel?
Limel is further down. It's on the direct line towards kind of Virtes. There's a mountain range that you're familiar that would be between the two of them. And then if you were to keep going past Virtes, that would be where Gomgalor is, which is what Eos was looking for before. She would know that on the map. It's kind of a straight shot from you. All three of them are in like a perfect line, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Then the pyramid is just way the fuck off.
Yeah. And Palproth again, just because it's not on my map, that is central in Desolata, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't seem to fix that. I checked. But that has to do with, you do have a token there that you can see through, but it has to do with the new software we're using to like uncover the map. You can't see through for some reason.
Trying to go from memory. I think it was pretty much
fairly central of the islands, yes, but it is on the very, very far side of the livable parts of Desolata. Beyond that is all Badlands. You cross that river and it's all Badlands. That's where like Kakird is and stuff like that, and that is where chaos just reigns. There is a whole heap of evil shit and bad shit out there. So monstrosities and all that crap.
So yeah, Dash is just kind of voicing those locations out loud to whoever might be listening.
There's also a very serious and jagged, incredibly massive mountain range kind of to your south. That would almost take you towards the Crescent Pearl in that direction if you were to follow it. But that would take months to cross. That wouldn't even be like, the rough terrain doesn't even describe it. Like in D&D rough terrain, you're basically effectively climbing what would be like Everest? 80 or 90 mountains to get to like the point where you're looking at the Crescent Pearl. Like that is a massive jagged mountain range. There's just so much going on there.
So how are we for resources? We're at least 5 days from anywhere, bar going back to Ashrest.
Make a cup of water every few seconds. Just one cup.
Okay. And that'd be enough to fill our water skins at least.
It may take a few minutes.
Food, I have personal rations for 4 days. I'm happy to try stretch and share if we need.
I'm pretty sure Hatsu has rations in his bag as well.
True.
Pretty sure.
Right.
Do you have Matsu?
Thanks, Hatsu. Not made for walking.
Dash Just something you said there. It's just thinking about it while you were talking about our options. You said everything's 5 days away, unless we go back to Ashrest. I mean, in theory, as far as we know, no one knows what we've done, and no one has seen us, except for when we knocked and asked for a conversation, had a conversation at the door, and then, to all intents and purposes, we left.
Yes.
No reason why we can't go back, see if we can hire a ship, rent a ship, steal a ship, go with a convoy, take on a contract as mercenaries, whatever gets us to use transport that they have access to. I mean, all we have to do is make sure that the object isn't found. Just pick one of us who's good at hiding things to hang on to it, I guess. And then after that, talk our way in, which we're well able to do.
And what
Maybe
about
that's-
not being too obvious here? Eos. Eos isn't able to hide herself long enough to be able to do that.
For a while, but she kind of holds out her hand. Running low. Sun's getting low, Hulk.
Well, we need to probably take tonight anyway. I mean, we could just go back,
This
all
is
head
my
back,
next-
and just a few of us inquire about work.
That's true too. This is my next thought. If we tend to go back, should we have a concealed place to stay? Because if we're found hiding, it's more suspicious. If we're found camping, having the fact that they knew we were in the area, less suspicious. Do we do a bit of half-half? It all depends on
think-
what our next steps are, in my opinion.
I mean, just kind of looking at the efforts that are being made currently, there's nothing to say this is not just simply securing us against any sandstorms. I mean, it is a protected location. Even if you're camping out here in the wild, you do want to protect against bandits. So there's nothing wrong about concealing yourself and protecting yourself while camping, especially in Desolata. So I think we're okay with this.
Alright, so the consensus is camp here tonight, and then what? Go back and see what our options are? See if we can get a job, see if we can hire a boat, see if we can rent horses, whatever.
I would suggest we travel at night. Sun's too hot today.
Agreed. What are your thoughts? Yes, I mean, you're the one most at risk from
All I
any of
can
these
do is
options.
Make water, I can't. Make food, I can't. I mean, if I keep going the way I am, I can make odd noises from a distance. But if someone tries to
Helpful in
stab
some
me or hang
circumstances.
me or kill me, I'm not the quickest.
Don't worry, we won't let them. Not without a fight, at least.
I think we should get some rest this evening. Let out whoever this person is, because let's just say they are bad. At least they're here and not being let out in a town or somewhere. And I hope that come morning time, Eos has got enough juice left to be able to get us back with that rod of hers.
Also, we need to consider Wes looks a bit different as well.
He does, but I think we can make that out to be a localized tribal thing, similar to Hatsune and Madriana have masks, cultural differences.
That's what we did at the gate last time.
Let's get to work on a camp, I guess. Are we agreed? We'll go back to Ashrest in the morning, unless something changes.
Why do you want to go back there?
Hire a boat, look for work, find
Those are
transportation.
military boats.
Yes,
There's not like a salesman. There's not a merchant. It's not.
we know mercenaries operate there as well. Again, the alternative is 5 days minimum, potentially 6, and Eberhol courts are crawling with police and politicians.
We're only a few hours from Ashrest as well, so it's a quick stop to find out if it's of any use. Whereas if we go further and have to double back, it's a much bigger deal in our rations and resources. Better to know now than go too far.
Speaking of rations and resources, are you eating, drinking? What are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'll consume a ration.
Are you drinking from your flasks?
Yes, and then pass them on to EOS to hopefully refill for us.
Okay. Eos refills the first flask, and after a minute, that water evaporates.
Oh, is that how it works? Question: if she makes water and we drink it, does it evaporate from within us, or are we satiated?
No, I'll say you're satiated and hydrated. I would say. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Yeah. The way
I'm
I've
not gonna,
described
like,
it previously
Yeah, I'm not.
is
gonna
Eos
say
has been doing this the whole time.
It does
Oh.
evaporate though, so you can drink from Eos, but you can't. You can't have.
Just takes out our socks and squeezes them for everyone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
no.
my god. We'll sell it on eBay. But you can't like fill the flask. Basically, that's the problem. Are we banned? Was that it? Did Twitch just cut us off? Was that the
it's
line?
just
That
it's just
was it?
gone now. Yeah.
Hello,
Yeah,
YouTube.
it doesn't
our
matter
new
all these
primary.
half-nuked people in, swimming pools, but us, we
Yeah.
get banned, yeah. That's how it works, right?
We have to get a
Those drinks
bottle, or
soon.
we have to get like a bottle or flask that's like Space Jam's Michael's secret stuff, but put
Hell
on
yeah.
Eos instead, and just like sell that
Yeah.
on the
Instead of Evian, it's just EOS.
Hell yeah.
merch team. Write that down.
To be fair, it's
Yeah.
better than like Dash soap or something.
Does he use it?
Splash
What do you
Dash.
say? Fuck me for?
Well, no, because surely if it was Dash, it'd be Grease.
Oh wow.
Whoa, hold on a second. Just because I'm a
That's
slippery
a
character.
100%.
Actually, no, that tracks.
That
That's kinda
forehead
track,
freaking-
Oh my god, what's that? We're all back in RP all of a sudden?
That was weird.
Anyways, Eos is visually in aghast at Dash's suggestion to go back to Ashrest.
Like
Where
I
are the
said,
other places?
What was that, Weslyn? Sorry.
Where are these other places?
Emberhold Courts is northeast. Lamel, southeast. It's more inland. Palproth is almost due east. That's about 11 days. I don't recommend taking you there.
hang on a sec. This is the desert, right? Roper, is there any camels around?
Make a, I don't know, survival check.
Can I assist by also
Does it
looking
make you want to say
around
it out
for?
loud? Or is she just like looking around?
I mean, it'd be obvious I was looking for something. If Eldrin was to ask about it, she'd tell him for sure.
Let's find out in RP.
We might not have horses, but I wonder if there's any other creatures that can pull the cart. Slart.
Camel could do it.
That's what I was thinking.
Eldritch just like steals the idea through metaphysics. Yeah, absolutely. So you can either both roll or one can assist the other. It's up to you.
Might I offer local knowledge of any animals roaming the deserts?
Oh yeah, but they scare the shit out of you, so.
If you
I'm
say
sure they do.
birds, I'm gonna slap you, Dash, because that ain't gonna happen,
Red-crested
is it?
warbler.
It's just going to be a fucking ostrich just...
Yeah.
Roadrunner.
Meat.
Well, that's an at one, so I see fuck all.
Where's the other meep? Where's the other meep? Yeah.
You've seen The Simpsons. They only did it once and doubled it in post-production.
Well, that one doesn't do
21.
it. 21, okay. Madrana, you're looking around for something, but you're not really familiar with this land, so it's not unusual. Damn it. It's unusual for you
Not
to
unusual.
to like see something or not see something because you don't know what you're looking for. Eldrin, however, you have touched these lands before. You've touched grass here. Actually, you haven't. But you have been here. And it is...
You say desolate, so help me.
Something.
Something, something.
It's barren. 21. That's really good though. Yeah, there's a camel. There's just one guy, and he's drinking TK orange, and he has sunglasses on. He's kind of just leaning against a cactus. That's a very old reference. I don't know if anyone's gonna get that one.
Some guy.
That's a newer reference. People make it up.
He's gonna be upset when he loses his camel, isn't he?
Yeah, there's a camel.
How far is it?
Like-
Close.
Like 4 feet.
Oh, he walked up on us real quick.
Oh, he was really slow. He was casual, real chill about it.
Maybe he's like one of them traveling salesmen, like in Minecraft.
The only way you could tell that he was there is because he was singing "My humps, my humps, my humps." My humps." I'm okay with that.
I would
Slowly
I would like to
ruin Keane's birthday.
I would like to approach said camel.
Okay.
Hello, friend. Hello, friend.
I'll need
would
you to
like
roll
to-
an animal handling check, please. Oh, please fail.
Camels
Not
hurt when
today.
they bite, don't they?
22.
22.
This camel seems pretty excited to see you.
I'm excited to see him. I smoothed the camel.
Yes, was that camel there all this time?
I'm not talking to you now.
To me?
Yo starts casting elementalism on the dune to help keep it in shape.
Okay.
Just beckoning Earth.
Nice. Okay. Nice. Yeah. Good use of that. You're getting mileage out of that spell. I like it.
It does 6 different things.
Each more so.
Are there no other settlements? Just those?
Sorry, Wes?
Just those places?
Oh, just those places?
Yeah. There's nowhere else we can go.
Yeah. I mean, there's the ruins of Timmeroth, but that's just a big hole.
Eos, if your magic thing there works again,
Madriana, my darling, how are we?
good. Well, tired and sandy, but you know,
It gets everywhere.
it does get everywhere.
Coarse
Even
and
with this on,
irritating.
it's everywhere.
I completely agree, Eldrin. Is that a camel?
This is Jurgen. He is my camel.
You're
I have
named the camel
named him.
Jurgen?
Do we all get it
Yeah.
again? Or is that just Jurgen?
It's my
Yeah.
gen. He is Jurgen.
Just
I get it again.
Where is their again?
Is it a collective noun?
Jurgen. No, Jurgen. Where is family gen? I realize he doesn't speak common.
Just very slowly chews with a crossed jaw, like sticking out for some reason, which always freaks me out.
Dash.
Yes, Eldrin?
You're familiar with this area.
Yes.
How far could we travel on a camel, do you think, in one night?
In one night, I'm not entirely sure. I think they're equitable to a horse. So that would, for context, Palproth is 11, 12 days on foot, 3-4 days, 5 by horseback. I assume similar by camelback.
Camelback.
I don't know if a camel can pull a slart with all of us on it.
Well, I'm going to be sitting on Jurgen, so I don't know about yous.
Why do you get
He's-
to ride the camel?
Because he's my gen. He's Jurgen.
What about that guy? Hi, whoever you are, by the way. He hasn't introduced us.
He's not important. As I look up at him.
Was there actually a guy, or was the DM pulling our leg there?
The camel just starts gurgling.
Are we hallucinating, or is there actually a guy here?
It's not a guy here. No, it's just a camel.
Eos goes up to Eldrin's gen. Casts
Some water
water and
before
offers it to the camel.
I start to drink it out of her hands, thinking she was giving it to me because I am so thirsty. I think
You're
I'm
very thirsty,
hallucinating.
Eldrin.
You take 1 point of bludgeoning as the camel spits right in your head.
No.
Not again.
I hate this camel. All right.
Okay, so we have a camel. I'm not sure if that helps us logistically.
I think it's going to
I'm-
be a case of hope that Eos's magic stick works tomorrow, or we're just going to have to walk.
Oh, there reminds me. Slate, do you have those instructions that you wrote down before?
I take out my bag and I look through for the chef's instructions from Saigon Otoshi, and I take out my chef's knife and I look over at the camel and I say, "Instructions? I have instructions."
Oh, okay. For the
Kind of makes a gurgling noise.
Leave him alone.
I heard if you cut open their stomachs and like crawl inside, it can keep you warm on cold nights.
Yeah, but if you thought they
book is
smelled
not in
bad
the
on the
library.
outside, oof.
I mean, we could eat like kings.
Like what? As Dash pulls his dagger.
Camels probably
Joking.
make for good food. Yeah.
Retract.
But you look around as far and wide, there's no other camels. And there never will be again.
Okay, so I guess yes, we need to rest. We need to figure out what we're doing because again, Ash Rest is the closest. We know there's transports there. How we retrieve it is a different matter. Mind you, if we go to any other settlement, we have the same predicament on how we get aboard a ship or get horses or
We could go
More
to the
Jurgens.
coast and try and build something that's seaworthy and use the slart and buoyancy. Don't know how well that would work or how far it would go. We could also use it to try and board another vessel that might be passing, but who knows who or what will be on those vessels.
You suggesting we become pirates?
I'm suggesting that we be practical with our options. The coast is close, Ash Rest is close, the camel is also here. These are all practical things.
It's also possible that our current captor, not captor, capturee, captive, that's the one, might have a way for us to get out.
I think it's worth asking them.
I have an idea for that as well, actually. Eos, will you make sure Jurgen doesn't run away? Jurgen, this is Eos. Eos has water. Please stay.
Eos tries to pet, so I'll do animal handling.
Yes, you will.
Here we go. Oh no, that's bad. I do not have any inspiration.
Eos, it is very sudden that Jurgen starts to chew on your ropes and pull on the fabric.
Oh,
Causes
I'd like
minor
to calm him.
damage. Okay, animal handling to try and calm him. But if this goes wrong, it will go absolutely ham on Eos's ropes.
what?
13?
13.
You calm Jurgen.
Eldrin, you're remarkably good with a camel.
Yeah, it's kind of strange.
Saltron's camel, it shows up in times of need.
Yeah, it's camel of requirement. Jurgen. Jurgen, please, just do camel things for a minute. Sit, actually, Jurgen, please sit. Now,
It's just occurred to me that Jurgen's footsteps would go clop clop on concrete.
Yeah, I was thinking exactly the same. Exactly the same.
anyways, so Major Anna, I have an idea about this person that's like in the orb or whatever. I don't know what it is. Remember when we had our little spar?
Hmm.
I remember there was one point where you tried to get away from me and I stopped you.
Hmm.
I was thinking, if we let this person or this being out, I could try to stop them if they try to escape. If they can't get out and like they're right by me, cool. But if they try to like get away from me, I can stop them and just try and hold them there. And then at
Remind
least, even if they get away from like my grasp or something, at least it gives a moment where I might slow them down for yous to grab.
Understood, but remind me, because it's been a little while. You have to attack to be able to do that, right?
So, in a way, yeah, but if she was to try and move away from me, like out of my area, like I'd be able to just grab onto her, and she'd just stop going where she's going, and she just, I don't know. It's kind of like a weird skill, kind of like just grounding myself of like she goes to run, and I'm like, nope.
I
I
understand.
think it's
and
maybe
actually,
from, yeah, I think it's from dealing with too many hooligans in the city.
I mean, it is
just
a
they
very
go and I'm
handy
like-
talent. Yes, it is a
Yeah.
handy talent, but one, her natural instinct is probably going to be to try to get the fuck away from us.
Yeah.
But I don't think we should show aggression straight away.
Yeah,
I think
I
everyone
had
needs to
that
be on their
idea
guard.
too.
But, you know,
I could be ready for it. Like if someone else wanted to like let her out, I could be ready. I could
Yes,
be
I mean,
there.
if
I
we
think
let her-
you'd be
yeah.
quick enough to catch her. I don't think I would though.
if we let her out and she goes to stab one of us, then maybe you can do something. That's a good idea, yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. I could definitely try, but yeah, if she like, well, if she hits me, I know I can definitely just be like, yeah, don't do that, please. Yeah.
Okay, so now that, and I'm at this point, I'm going to assume we've built the encampment thing we're going to build. Now that we're kind of set up for this, then shall we create a little group circle and invite this person out?
Surrounding them upon release might come across as a bit hostile. Make it a semicircle.
Okay, I didn't mean like let's enclose on their space. I just meant like let's be around as such.
Yes.
Do they just get out themselves, or does somebody have to let them out? I don't know how this orb thing works, or is it an orb?
I think
Who has
Weslyn
it?
has to let them out.
Oh,
She is not going anywhere at the moment. It's contained somewhere far away. It might be in our best interests to approach this a bit more slowly.
What do you have in mind?
Give me some time with this object. In the morning, if I haven't been able to reason with it by then, we can come up with a different plan.
sounds reasonable.
My only concern is, if I'm remembering right from our experimentation with it in the Arcanum, time passes differently in there. So would they
Yeah, that may be
feel
too
like
long.
they've been in there for quite some time?
Possible. You can learn a lot about somebody through what they dream about.
You believe you can speak to them in their dreams while they're in there?
I don't know. But I can try.
Worth a try, but I would caution that if you can't, then we release them sooner rather than later.
Yes.
Lest they
I
view
agree.
us as worse captors than their previous.
Yeah, there's a difference between being in a box you can see through and being in a box you can't.
You wouldn't let a bird out directly into a cage, would you?
If the
Some
bird-
people would.
Some people would, and they deserve to die.
Why do you think we're going to Scorchwood eventually?
Oh, that is dead. God damn it.
He's going to have to go down at some point, but we'll let
Yeah.
Dash at least tell him he loves him before we do that.
Thank you? Question mark?
You're welcome. No question mark.
Eos.
Slate.
Could I have your help? Just inside here under the tarp for a moment.
Of course, could I have the 18 pages of instructions, please, for my staff?
Let's do this first, and then let's do that bookbinding kit that you took before we left. You took 2.
Yes.
Let's do that. So I'm going to bring Eos into the kind of makeshift lean-to that we've created with the sand shelf, etc., and then a blanket down the front. And I'm going to get ask Eos to create water as often as possible into the sand. And what I want to do is, the sand presumably is dry because it's sand, but by wetting it, it adds stability and, you know, it makes it more solid. And obviously if it's in the middle of a dune, then the heat can't get to it. It's colder sand and it remains cold thereafter, even if the spell ends or whatever, the effect is done. So what I'm looking to do is the same as you do in the snow. You can do it in the forest, you know, for fires, the way you dig a hole with like a chimney, which means fires can't be seen from miles away. So it just means we can have a fire under the sand that only has a little hole at the top, and no light comes out, or there's not a big flame to be seen for miles around, basically.
Cool. Sounds good.
Eos will do her utmost. That, absolutely.
And I have my entrenching tool, so the idea is just to direct Eos and just slowly edging out bits of the sand and compacting it, and, you know, building a little space where we can burn, and it goes up a flue, and just compacting the flue, etc., and just making it that it's stable and using the water to have that effect, and then relying on the fact that after the spell ends it'll hold, based on the cold temperature of the sand under the dune, etc., because it's so deep down.
No problem.
Definitely going camping with Richard. Absolutely. 100%.
I'm definitely going to hear about what happened when you went camping with Richard, because I don't think I would come back if I went camping with Richard.
Missing suddenly.
Yeah, no, I mean, that sounds great. That's awesome. I love it. Inspired and wish to run a Flying Orc camping trip with Richard. That would be great. Yeah, I mean, with ease, you manage that. Again, for the creativity, I'm just not going to make you roll for it, because that's pretty straightforward. Not straightforward as in can't be done, or could be done, or whatever. I just mean, what do I mean? I mean straightforward as in for you, you find this stuff quite easy. That's probably the best way to phrase it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Is there anything else? There was no question there for me, right? Am I tripping? It's been a long day. All right, we're good.
I was just asking Eos for help with that while everyone else was discussing. I think we've agreed to rest,
Perfect,
so we're starting to get into, I guess, Eos has asked me to help her with the book, so we're looking at who's... I'll turn to everyone and say, how are we going to do watch this evening? Now that we have the fire lit, we can make the book with firelight and we can see what we're doing. Anyone else who wants to do things, now's the time, and it better be rest and watch and the usual. So who wants to do what, guys?
I'll do the first watch, as I always do.
I'm happy to take a watch as well.
Cool.
I'd really like to sleep full night tonight.
I do not require a whole lot of rest. I'm happy to offer my attention.
I'll go last, as always, because this face needs its beauty sleep. And I can't see too well in the dark anyway, so it's just logical.
Which face? The one you have on now, or
all of them?
Okay.
Can I sit with Eos, and Eos grabbed some kind of a book mending or making kit. He took 2 because I specifically said 1 for a practice book so we don't fuck up what we actually have, and then 1 to do her notes that I tried to put in chronological order but need to be stitched, etc. So can I take out my forgery kit, and I recently bought some accoutrements, so like stamps and seals and stuff like that. I'd like to take everything out and sit as close to the fire that we've made as possible for maximum light, and encourage Eos to come over so we can... I have some medical knowledge, I know a little about that, for stitching and things like that, and I want to see what's different between that kind of stitching and stitching a book, or is it different, or what's the intricacies of making a book basically, and try and use what I have with what EOS has to make a sample book, so we know what we're doing to make this proper one.
Yeah, that makes sense. You can roll with that kit. That would make the most sense, yeah.
I'm going to turn to everybody and say, you might be surprised to know, but I know a little something about this. And then I'm going to so obviously I cast guidance on myself in this case, and then I will get, I have things like thieves tools and stuff. Just thematically speaking, I take out all my accoutrements so I can chop and change tools and try and use what I have. And then forgery kit. With EOS assisting me in her knowledge of books, is that like repairing books in the Undercroft, is it a normal role for me, or is it in any way modified with EOS's help if the two of us are doing it together?
Very good question.
It's a normal role. You're doing it based on your skill set, not hers, but you have advantage
Perfect.
from her. That would be the modifier. It's just the advantage.
Beautiful. Lovely. I will take it.
Oh my god.
Delighted with that advantage. So a nat 20 and a 10, and then the guidance as well. So it came up for a nat 20 for 24.
Okay. Nat 20. Yeah, with ease. You don't even use all the parts. You're just like going through it and like absolutely fine. You put a book together. Everything shy of leather bound. It is really well done. There's a camel there if you want to leather bound it, but yeah.
Roughly how long, like obviously this isn't trying to be the perfect, this is just trying to learn the skills to do it. Roughly how long would you say that takes? Because it's the first time I personally have done it, so I don't know how long that would take for the two of us with all of our spits.
No, I'd say an hour or something, like something subtle. Like it took
45
time,
minutes.
but like you had everything put in order, you had it all sorted out already, you knew where everything was going, so like it probably took you like 30 minutes to kind of get the gist of what you were doing, and then the other 30 minutes was just finalizing and assembling and
With that in mind, Slate would turn to EOS and say, I don't know about you, but I think we did a really good job on that. And for me, everything's here. The night is quiet. The tools are here. I think we strike while the iron's hot and try and get you those notes. They're already written. Everything is done. Look, the other one is blank. I put that away and say we don't need that. But I say we get this bound so you can get into the meat of it if you're willing to do another hour or so.
Eos picks up the practice book and she is just inspecting with amazement. She's like, wow, it's amazing. Look at that cover art. Look at the back cover art. Merch store. And yeah, it's so good. It's like absolutely incredible. Yeah, let's do it again.
Same rolls?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, it will be guidance again. And then forgery kit. Advantage. Good enough. An 18 for a 22.
takes a little longer, but that's absolutely fine. You definitely get that done.
Perfect. In my inventory, I have the information on the staff. I will just send that to give the item to Rory, so then Rory will have the read up, which is all of the stuff that I wrote down during Identify, that I said I wrote it all out, etc., and drew all the symbols. So is that alright if I send that across? So Eos has that to look at in her own time.
Eos literally hugs you. You're so much taller than her. She's like just a little nip height to you. It's a nice hug.
Uncharacteristically, Slate does that thing that you do where when someone gives you a hug and it's meaningful, you wait for them to pull away.
Oh, cool.
Ah. Yes.
That's 2 hours of my time, so that's what I'm doing for those 2 hours.
A long hug.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what's everyone else do?
Ash is kind of sitting a little bit away, a bit higher above the encampment that they have, and he just has his notebook out, just kind of sitting to himself for the moment.
Yeah.
Adriana is like sitting there, obviously keeping an eye out, but also is contemplating why she's seen birds like, when they like brush themselves, but with like dust and dirt and stuff, like when they flick it through their wings and stuff. She is contemplating like, wonder if there's any like real premise to that and what it does for me or what it could do for me. And is it inspecting the sand as if to say like, she's checking the texture and how fine it is, and she's definitely thinking about it. She won't do it because even for her that would be a bit weird, especially around like these guys. But
Ash
she
would
is
definitely see it too.
contemplating. Yeah, that's the one time he'd roll well. She is contemplating like why they do it. Like, what's the purpose? What's the benefit of it?
Yeah, I mean, you self-analyze this, so it's not something you need to particularly roll for, but it's also like something difficult to analyze at the moment because it's like midnight. But like thinking back on the birds that you've seen and the like the history of what you've learned about birds and so far, even traveling with Dash, because I'm sure during those long walks he is just talking, squawking. He's squawking. I was proud of myself for that.
I'm squawking here.
But he has probably passed on certain things. Like, it is probably something that you could technically speak to him about if you were that openly curious about it. But if it's a subtle curiosity, I'd be interested to know what Amadriana's thoughts are on it. Like, does she understand it? Is it something that she gets? Or is it something that, I don't know, that's like her spiritual journey?
She's done swimming, and like for the most part that just kind of beads off, and a 2-second flight and she's got rid of basically any moisture and dew that's on it.
Yeah.
And like she understands the principles, like you said, because of Dash at some point has probably spoke about it, that they use the dust particles. It's essentially to exfoliate all the crap out of their feathers and stuff like that. So she is kind of thinking about it. All right. Again, I think she'd be too self-conscious to do it with everyone around.
Just out of curiosity, can I maybe do a perception and insight to see? Can I see her kind of looking at the sand and glean what she's thinking?
Yeah, it would be insight versus Amadriana, I suppose, rather than something that I as a DM will do. But I would let that, if Ryan's cool, that I'd let that roll. Yeah.
By the way, as well, I've tried to explain the whole thing with the lights and the eyes and stuff on her mask to explain different things she's feeling and that. And it suddenly dawned on me the other day what it was that I pictured in my head, and to give everyone else a visual so you understand as well. Think Evie from Wall-E.
Yeah, that's where I've been going. Yeah,
the shape changes and stuff depending on curiosity, angle. That's essentially what you get.
Cool. 9 on the inside, by the way.
Nice.
She's looking at some sand.
Amadriana's an enigma to you, man.
She's picking up and dropping sand and letting it fall through her hands and stuff. It seems to be nothing more than a mild curiosity as to why the fuck we're in this place.
Part of Dash wonders if she's just using that as a representation of the fall of the monarchy, but he's not quite sure.
This king, bleh, gone.
Monarchy shall fall like blades of sand beneath my finger. Just Dash has like a whole monologue going. Yeah.
I will say though, she will take a small sample of this. Like I've probably got somewhere like in the bottom of a coin pouch or something where she could just take enough sand that she's got something belonging to this place.
Sure. Pocket sand, always useful.
Exactly.
Look forward to 50 sessions from now where Ryan realizes there's sand in his pocket and needs to blind an enemy.
It's just dash.
So begins my villain arc.
I think that begun 48 sessions ago.
It's just gonna be a case of what's in my hand. Now you're blind. Ha
Pocket sand. Yeah. So, yeah. Major Anna's thinking about birds. Dash has no idea. That's where we're at.
Dash resumes his sketches.
EO, Slate, Dash, and Madriana. So I'm curious about Weslyn and Eldrin.
I'm just with Jorgen, just for a few minutes. Kind of like lie down in the sand and kind of lie up as if I'm leaning against a big beanbag, just lying against him, and he's lying down on the sand and just looking up at the stars, if there is any stars.
Many, many stars. This is the most starlit sky you've ever seen in your entire life. Where you live at Bricksunder, the city's always lit up by embers and by forges and by whatever. The starlit sky is not much of a thing. The Crescent Pearl is beautiful, but the Crescent Pearl is also lit up. You go to Arboris. It's quite dark there. Of course you could see it, but look at the stars. Look how they shine for you, Eldrin.
Yeah.
Are they all yellow?
Some of them. Some of them have a blue tint. Some of them sparkle. One of them goes across like this, and you think for a second you see a fairy, but then we nearly got sued, so we didn't do that.
Oh, no fairies. Okay. Yeah, I'm just staring into the night sky, and yeah, I eventually go to. Okay, actually, quick question. This makeshift shelter, is there room for all of us under there, or?
No, Slate just built it for himself.
Cool. I'm gonna sleep where I am right now with Jorgen.
I'm sure there's plenty of room for everybody, but you can still sleep with your new friend, Jurgen.
Yeah, I'm gonna sleep there. My new friend.
Good idea.
That's how those rumors started.
Rumors.
Anyway,
Not take camel rumors.
you light up a cigarette. No, wait, that's a different camel. You lay back and you enjoy the stars with Jurgen, who has no idea what a star is. But at some part of you believes that through his simple eyes there is a hidden sense of wisdom to him. He is so wise.
We're two peas in a pod. Not a wise pod, but a pod nonetheless.
Yeah. Yeah. Weslyn and Chicken Zifox.
I don't know what Chicken's doing.
Plotting murder, I'm pretty sure. That's usually what they're doing.
BPEG, it's true. Weslyn is going to take advantage of such a clear sky and shuffle away from the camp. Just far enough away to where he's got space to himself, but not too far away that he loses sight of it. He's going to go through a series of rituals. The first is detect magic. While he knows that the thing in his possession is a magical thing, there's a lot you can learn from changing the way that you look at the world, the way that you look at things, putting on a pair of glasses, studying something under a microscope. You see the faint lines that varied in color, texture. And then the next ritual that he'll be casting is Identify. Begin to break this thing down into its components as best as he can with such a rudimentary spell.
And this is on the seal, right? That you're doing all of this. This is
Well, the tech magic is
just general, but yeah.
general for reasons. But the Identify will very likely be on the seal. I just want to know what the results are first. Detect.
Okay. Okay. So detect magic and identify. We'll start with detect magic. So you sit down and you cast detect magic. Not that anyone would see it, because you walked away from the group, but your eyes go this kind of strong blue color, not like the way Amadriana's do with a glow, but more like there are lenses over your eyes, something glass manipulating them. It's more like bright contacts. And as they do, you can see through that a realm of magic. There are a few things that are to take in, not around you, but with you. Firstly, I'll focus on the seal because I believe that would be what you're looking at, but I will tell you other things that catch your attention shortly. You get 3 schools of magic detected from this. You get enchantment, which makes sense because of the core structure of what it is. Conjuration, again, and abjuration. However, because of the power of this item, there is an intense aura around it. You find that using detect magic, you're almost able to pick up on the strength of magic involved in this, and it is powerful. The lens of this at the top, where it looks almost like a cap that seals, that has this sort of glow with swirls of stars constantly moving. Something that was very transparent before is very predominant now. You can see the magic essence within this device. The entire device itself pulses with a resonant sort of hum, and although you can't quite hear it, it's almost like you're visualizing it. You can almost hear it with your eyes, if that makes sense. There's just something to it that's so just resonant is the word. You also see within it the faintest, smallest ball of light in the middle, and that to you would imply that this is not a vacant space. There is something within it, and whatever's being housed is contained within this small light. Yeah, it's dangerous and powerful. That's what you're getting.
Out of curiosity, as the last time he tasted this sort of separation of worlds, don't think he got a good look at the fox.
Chicken? Okay. I'll get to chicken, because they are definitely emanating a glow as well. But first, let's talk about you. There are 2 things that you immediately pick up on. 1, your tattoos are not blue. They are almost a purple red, as the color emanating from them indicates magic as well. Something that I'm not sure Weslyn ever knew.
do they have a school associated?
They would. I'll answer that shortly. I need to think about the school. But they would have nearly all the schools. They would be definitely enchantment, illusion, divination, transmutation, conjuration, necromancy for sure. For sure. I'm not sure about anything else, so I may amend that later, but for those ones I'm 100% sure. Those 6. They're going to pulse with a color shifting light, and they'll have like I said, sort of this purple, dark royal purple that moves into almost a reddish color. The red itself is almost blood red. It is like a very, very aggressive red. If they are magic or enchantment or whatever they are to you, and wherever they came from, they're not natural. If they were once, they are no longer.
There's nothing that he's doing at the moment that is natural, so take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Chicken, I'm going to pull up their sheet for a second because I want to get this 100% correct. This is important. But yeah, Weslyn is seeing a lot more through his own eyes than he thought. Yeah. All right, let me have a quick look. So that was the seal. That was Weslyn, chicken, and one other thing. With chicken, if aura was an indication of power, chicken looks like a star. There is a phenomenal amount of power involved in chicken. There are several schools of magic involved in whatever is creating this aura for you, but the predominant one is illusion and transmutation ones, I suppose. The variation of chicken, like that would be like chicken's aura. If it's presenting magic to you, let's say that's how you're detecting the magic. You're reading the aura. You know what schools of magic they are based on colors, hues, feelings, sensations, intensity, right? Chicken is giving 4, but inconsistently. So 2 of them, as I said, like illusion and enchantment, those are predominant. But there are 2 faint separations behind that of conjuration and divination. So they are not as dominant as the first 2, but because of the way they interact with each other, it almost creates this flicker of color from chicken that goes through the different hues of those specific schools. But with this comes something different to what comes from everything else. You get the scent of a musky kind of forest, something sort of strong and familiar about it, somewhere maybe that you have been. There's like a, you know, you get those whiffs sometimes of something that reminds you of almost your childhood, but you can't fucking place what it is. It's just something on the tip of your nose, basically. It's right there, but you can't get it. You hear a faint chime in the distance, something like a small bell. That might be, for our context, something on a cat or dog collar, like a little tiny tingling from a bell, and the faintest sensation of almost a giggle or a laugh. the more you try and break through that with your conscious thought and mind, the more difficult it becomes to focus on chicken. Like something is suppressing your ability to do that. Douglas Adams has this great reference in Hitchhiker's Guide. I don't remember which one, but he's talking about how the more you look at something, the less you actually see it. The best way to see something is actually to look at it from the corner of your eye. And that is what you're feeling. The more you look at chicken, the less you're actually seeing them. The more you look away and just take it in and see it through the corners of your eye, your peripheral, the more you're actually able to see these things, the more dominant and separated they become. And every time you focus again, it's like the haze exists once again. Yeah. Let me know if I'm going too quick for you, but like the final thing that you see is I don't know if disconcerting is the word. So I'm just pulling up that information. It is, at first you get a sensation, something along the lines of, I guess, remembrance. Like you're witnessing something so familiar to you that it feels like a part of you, as if you saw your very self standing across from you. Not a mirror, not a reflection, just you.
Next to the fox?
On the
Or
dunes
the fox itself?
above your camp.
Beyond.
Yes. As you look across, you see a dark aura of red as a massive, tall creature sits just staring at the camp. It wasn't there moments ago, and nobody in your camp seems alarmed by it. But something of tremendous size, magnitude, and very impressive sits there. You've seen this in flashes, maybe dreams. It's tall, got a kind of slender shape but hooven legs. However, its arms and hands are sharp and jagged. As you look at them, you hear the sound of digging, familiar through your skull. Its head takes the shape of a deer, and its eyes glow red. The schools of magic are necromancy, enchantment, transmutation, residual divination, and something similar to fey conjuration. The reason I separate these schools is because not all types of conjuration and divination and spellcasting is the same. And Weslyn has a phenomenal amount of experience with certain things that he would be able to pull those apart. The aura appears almost like a system of roots, glowing veins. It pulls in deep amber, mossy greens, and it wraps around this creature like the crown of invisible antlers. It is watching your friends, your allies, whatever you want to call them, your traveling party, with intensity and interest, the same as the player of a game would watch the pieces to see what comes next. You sense the smell of turned soil, wet bark, and rotting fruit in the air. You hear distant creaking, like old trees shifting under pressure, or perhaps old bones breaking. There's a weird sudden urge to kneel or root yourself to the ground. You can't tell, but a sensation of being observed by the land, the sky, the stars, the moons. You feel like you're home, you feel like you're very far away. It's very difficult to understand the sensations and process it. To use the term overstimulated would be an understatement for Weslyn right now. You're at awe and unease mingled together, mashed. You might even have forgotten momentarily what you were doing, looking at Chicken, looking at your tattoos, looking at this seal. None of that contextually matters anymore. This creature feels like spring, summer, autumn, and winter all rolled into one. It feels so familiar. Connected to you. Maybe connected to your group. You have seen this more than once. More than a dozen times. One word comes to mind, Weslyn. Firethorn. A name, an identity, something that's stuck to you. But you watch on as Firethorn also watches. What would you like to do?
Is this creature manifesting through the visual distortions of the spell, or does it seem as if it is physically there?
If you were to look at the sand beneath it, it does not shift. It does not move. Though it sits very still, barely even a momentum of any kind. There's no breathing, there's no anything. Its stillness is almost eerie in itself. But nothing, not a footprint, not a grain of sand misplaced beneath it.
Weslyn stands up. He's unarmed. He slowly and with purposeful force. It is slow at first. There is heavier, more intentional power pushing him forward faster towards that dune.
As you move over, the gaze shifts to you, and your knees turn weak. You can power through it, you don't fall, but there is something so haunting when the eyes move to you, like 10,000 years of memory crippling your brain in one moment.
I think Weslyn at this stage loses concentration on his spell.
As the spell dissipates, the aura around Chicken does too, around the seal, even your tattoos return to their normal hue. It takes a few extra moments until Firethorn disappears, and the last thing to go are the eyes, which fade into the stars behind it, returning to their normal colors. Nothing noticed by a single party member. They move on with their day-to-day lives. Eos and Slate come out with a book in tow. Things seem normal in behavior. To everyone but you.
One is not sure how helpful it will be to let them know how close this thing is. Will take more watchful eye as they sleep.
So you'll take a more watchful eye
Best
while
they
they
can
sleep.
do. It's the best they can do. It's the best they can do.
It's the best you can do. In the meantime, though, the best we can do is take a wee little break. So we will take 10 minutes on that note. There will be a boss fight in chat. Please join. Help them fight the boss, because they just, they got to do this. They got to win. We will be back in roughly 10 minutes. BRB. Back. Hello. Welcome. We are live. God damn it, again. Weslyn, you saw a big creature, and now you do not see the big creature. What would you like to do, my friend?
He is going to go back to camp. Pause at the edge of light, fire, or anything. God, it's dark. It's not entirely sure why here or these people has only been a few hours since this past 1,000 years of running woods. He emerged from that hole next to the shack and that god-awful HOA violation, abomination. But he's here now. This place. And he's not sure if creature that has entered itself to question currently.
It's just cutting out a little bit there for me, John, if you don't mind. Just that works.
How's this?
That's, oh my god.
He's just not very sure what it wants, what it has to do with these people. But this is not their fight, and it is not fair to ask them or subject them to that. The best he can do is to be with them, to watch over their dreams until they are in a place where they can be safe, until he can be in a position where he can deal with that.
I would say at this point, Eldrin, sitting in the leaning against Jurgen, you probably starting to see Weslyn just standing there looking maybe a little bit perplexed, confused, upset.
Yeah. When I was laying there, didn't see anything at all. Did I?
No. The stars, and now Weslyn wandering back towards the camp.
He just
Chicken
looks
holding the seal, bringing it alongside him.
Chicken hunter. Okay. Okay. Yeah. How does Weslyn look?
I'll let Weslyn answer that.
He looks really confused and lost and tired. There is a grim determination, however, in his eyes. He does turn to you to look at you like fully for the first time since he emerged in the Undercroft. And approaches. You are the only one I do not remember. And you do not seem to remember me. I need you to go to sleep.
Oh. I was kind of planning on that with, kind of laying here and going to sleep, and Jurgen kind of, like, sorry if I was like, sorry. I kind of like turn over and I'm like facing towards Jurgen. I'm like, I wonder if he knows if I'm asleep if I just close my eyes. I've goggles on. How does he know I'm awake? Night, Mr. Weslyn.
Weslyn sits down next to him, staring at him.
Like, goggles, looking through the goggles, and I know he can't see through the goggles, but I'm still like one eye closed looking up at him. I'm like, he knows I'm awake, but I just kind of just stay there still anyway, and I'm just kind of relaxing my breathing and thinking he'll think I'm asleep in a minute.
Wesley's going to settle down into a trance. Things fall still.
It takes a little while for Eldrin to fall asleep because he's so hyper aware of the fact that you want him to, that it makes it very difficult for him to fall asleep. Until
Really wants him to.
Yeah, like there's like he knows that that's there, so the pressure's on. But some time passes, and with the incredibly loud snoring of Jurgen, like earth-shakingly loud snoring of Jurgen, like me when I sleep on my back, like shake the house kind of like the.
Note to self: don't invite Ken for a sleepover.
Too late. Yeah, that's it. Whoever did that, aces. As Jurgen keeps everyone else awake, Eldrin finds melody in it because he's used to the sound of smithing and all the blacksmithing and all of this stuff. It helps you find peace to hear a lot of noise. You can fall asleep easily in a city and not so easily in the wild, so Jurgen has been a godsend for you. You sleep soundly, peacefully. And before we go back, I want to know, what do you dream of, Eldrin?
Ooh.
No pressure, but you have to tell me right this second. You don't have any time to think about it.
That seems to be a very empty head from the outside is a very busy head on the inside. There's, suppose dreams wouldn't be of anything wildly creative, but it would be almost like flashes of memories, things that have happened, kind of replaying memories in my mind more than anything. Some that would stir, make me feel uneasy, kind of, not to say whimper in my sleep, but definitely would be he's having a nightmare. He's having a bit of a night terror kind of thing,
Like a dog, you're like
kidnapped.
running in your sleep, like.
More or less like getting ready to pull out a knife or something because I'm like, oh, I got kidnapped.
Jurgen, no.
You know, I'm like, oh yeah, no, definitely ready to throw hands there. I definitely got kidnapped. Oh wait, that's just Jurgen. Yes, not really much dreams, but just definitely kind of like memories, and the like you mentioned with the noise, definitely reminding of home, the comfort of feeling at home for a moment, even though I'm out in the wild. Having the comfort of a companion there would have reminded me of being at home and with family, being close together, and yeah, feeling comfortable. But other than the odd maybe nightmare of kind of just these things have happened, they'd be pretty calm dreams of bricks under, hustle and bustle of the town, memories of mum and dad, dad going out to work, mum staying at home, books everywhere, reading books, sitting by the fire, just being a bookworm, if anything, hearing kids outside, but hearing, like you mentioned and described beautifully, should I add, smiths in the city, in the town even, and just that metal on metal, constant noise chiming in the background, but always hearing kids running around, always hearing people active. So yeah,
that sound of metal on metal, that chiming of a hammer hitting steel, that anvil being beaten for the 9 millionth time, the sound that comforts you probably brings quite a bit of discomfort to Weslyn, who is with you on this journey.
Are we in a forge?
Are we? Hello.
Sorry, we can't be in here.
I didn't know we were anywhere.
Guess we could step outside.
Oh, okay. Do you lead the way, or do I? I don't know.
This doesn't belong to me.
Do you want me to show you around?
I want you to show me something. Anything. They have. What binds you to them?
These anvils are really loud.
No.
What would you like to see? Where are we going?
No. Your companions. What binds you to them?
Companions? Oh. It's a unique story. I could walk you this way if you'd like. I can show you the beginning of the story of what kind of led me down the path to them, if you'd like.
Please.
So I bring Weslyn along by where the city guard would have been, or the town guard, where I would have been one of the guards. And I explained to him that this is where I would have stood post. This is where I would have done training. This was me. I head in this direction and I point down towards like a narrow alleyway that would have been down towards another end of the city. And I say that this would have been where I was chased. And I was kind of targeted. Someone knew something about me. I don't know who. Kind of bugs me a bit because nobody knew anything about me. Because if anyone knew anything, my parents wouldn't have the reputation they have. But also I wouldn't be allowed to be in the position I'm in, was in. Maybe still am in? I don't know. But yeah, like someone knew something about me and someone clearly was keeping a better eye on me than I was of them. But they pretty much caught me in this alleyway. and I was brought out of the city and out of the walls and stuff, and that was when I got rescued.
These companions of yours rescued you.
No. I wasn't rescued. By them? Not by them, no. Remington saved me. I was like on the back of this cart and they were bringing me somewhere, and he appeared and he just took them all on, and I was kind of in and out of consciousness, and next when I knew I was at the school. I kind of don't remember a lot of it, and that's why like I didn't know where I was, and you know, like
What does he look like?
Remington?
Yes. Show me what he looks like.
How can I
Just
show you?
remember what he looks like.
I focus really hard and begin to think of the exact time I see Remington for the first time. And it's when I'm lying sideways on the cart and I hear the cart coming to a stop, and I see Remington on top of what was described to me, I believe, as a horse, or it maybe could have been the Pegasus. I don't know, but it was definitely Remington, and I described that to Weslyn of me seeing Remington for the first time and kind of seeing him take on these guys, but again, I was in and out of consciousness and very low on energy, but I describe it to him in detail.
Show me.
How?
You need
I
to
don't know.
remember. Show me. Focus. This is important.
Just start taking deep breaths and I close my eyes and I'm just deeply focusing on the moment. Then I open my eyes and imagine I'm there watching it from almost like a third person view, almost as if like the side of the road, looking at the cart stop, looking at me on the cart, looking at everything there. And me and Weslyn are staring at it go down. We're staring at the confrontation.
Does Remington look like Remington?
Yeah. For all intents and purposes.
Eldrin? I think I am finally awake. We are in significant trouble.
Oh. I was hoping good news.
I mean to alarm you.
That's okay.
I have one other question.
Sure.
This is important. Weslyn is going to carve the symbol of the unspoken one in the sky. Point at it.
As the symbol of the unnamed one appears, the unspoken one also fine. Great name. The Eldrin your feelings, your eyes, your heart manifests through, first of all, the glow in your eyes becomes purple. Second of all, veins start to appear, purple veins creeping back. And you feel malice in your heart. Not love, not compassion. Anger, frustration, hate, fear. Fear is the path to the dark side.
I'm just staring up at the symbol. I kind of put my hand on my chest and I'm rubbing my chest because I can feel my heart just beating in my chest, and I can almost hear my pulse.
Yeah.
And I'm just breathing heavy, and I'm like, but what's that doing there? Why? What's going on, Weslyn? Why are we doing this?
That's what I'm here to ask as well. You are unknown to me. That should be unknown to all.
Yeah. Yeah, it should. I'm still drawn to it.
Very careful. No one can stop you. This may be your path. Be very careful. That is of the old tongue. It is forbidden. Thank you, Aldrin.
Can we leave this area? Can we leave this place? Can I show you something better than this? I'm feeling itchy.
You can leave at any time. All you have to do is wake up.
When he says that, I wake up and I like spring forward and I'm like, feel my heart pounding, and I just look around and there's just nobody but me, Weslyn, and Jurgen.
Weslyn's still in a trance. It takes a few more moments for him to return. As the world collapses around you, Weslyn, like falling grains of sand between Amidriana's fingers. The world fades, but not before you pick up on two things not known to Eldrin. One, as you look down upon that conflict, for a split second, you see a pulsing aura like detect magic. That creature is there watching too. Long before you met Eldrin, it was there. In one of the most pinnacle peak moments of Eldrin's life so far.
Out of curiosity, this is Eldrin's dream.
This is Eldrin's dream.
This is a memory.
This is a memory.
And that creature is that a manifestation of his memory, or is he manifesting now?
That would be a fascinating question that is a thread we will need to pull on another time. but a good question. But he is not alone in watching this, and nor are you. Because there is one more creature observing. You have heard his name, but I'm not sure you've had the pleasure, though you have traveled through his domain. Vathros is present too. Until the moment the world collapses. Thoughts are powerful, Weslyn, and you are very close to creatures that are interested in those collective thoughts.
Like that much.
It has been a very trying 15 minutes for Weslyn. Weslyn, his eyes open barely moments after yours, Aldrin, but it does take a few extra moments. Like cutting a Wi-Fi connection, it takes a few minutes for everything to realize it's gone. But you're both back. The snoring of Jurgen. The scratchings of Dash's pen to paper or pencil. Eos and Slate happy with their book. And Adriana pondering the aviary world, but known to
I was
nobody.
going to say, would I have noticed this?
I would say by now you would have. You were pretty much staring into the void, just thinking about birds. So I don't think you did that for 2 hours. So I would say it's safe to say you probably witnessed
you
it.
can get lost in that particular void, let me
No,
tell you.
you can get lost in that particular void.
I just wanted to know if them kind of napping together and then him waking up so sharply and
Yeah, I would give you
whether
that.
that was all noticed. Okay, cool.
I would actually go so far as to say that because you have described it both in session and out in your backstory, Madriana generally tends to take a vantage point. So I would say you pretty much have a good overview. You would have noticed Weslyn leaving, though maybe not what he was doing. And then coming back looking a little bit disturbed, getting in a conversation with Weslyn, forcing Weslyn to sleep somehow. And then both of them coming back at the same moment, yeah. Not sure how much of that picture you can put together, or those pieces you can put together, but you would have seen these individual moments.
Oh, she's putting together a picture and she's not quite sure what to make of it just yet, but she's not happy about it.
She would be far more upset if she knew who she was sitting to, according to Weslyn, but that's okay. I'll go to Eos and Slate. I believe your book is done.
Eos spends quite a bit of time pondering over it. Each page, she looks at it. Just intaking information at just incredible speeds, trying to figure out each paragraph. She's just trying to understand it. Just a lot of sighs and oh, okay, for like a good 15 minutes from Eos whispering to herself.
While you're going through that, you sure find a lot of information. You know what information you don't find?
I don't know, DM. Which one don't I find?
Have a feeling you know.
I read the thing.
Sure seems like there's no information about how to open a portal.
Yep. No Stargate Atlantis here.
Nope. Stargate Atlantis or space or
That's true.
or
SG1.
Empire Strikes Back or whatever.
Yeah, it's all the same thing.
Wait a minute.
Track Wars.
Wait, I jumped on the wrong ship there. Wait, get me off. Don't get me off. So the Richard don't. I don't know, I've got to just talk. Just you guys take over, it's fine. There is no portal. There is no teleportation. There is no anything.
When we started to build our makeshift encampment and everything, it was late enough evening, well, actually quite late because we walked for a bit, etc. What kind of time would we be at now, having spent that hour or two doing the 2 books, and then obviously the others doing their hour or two outside, as was just described? So time has moved forward the guts of 2 hours.
I would say about 2 hours, yeah. Because it's been probably 1 block of a rest, I would say. Like 1 block of the rest part. Most of you don't use the full time anyway, so it's okay.
So Slate would be feeling quite tired because I do. So I would be just packing up everything, getting everything organized, stuffing everything into my bag, putting all of my bits and pieces that I'd taken out for the book back, packing the sample book that we wrote into my bag. Eos has the other book, and just tidying everything up and just lying down, rucksack as a pillow, and just trying to concentrate to be comfortable and get to sleep and get that rest that I know I'll need, because I'm not on first watch, and it's something that I don't usually do until the end, so I'm assuming I'll be woken up for the last watch, which is what usually happens. So I'm definitely eager to cut ties for the day, basically, and get to it, because I know it's not long till I'm up.
Seeing Slate pack up, I walk over to him and I should take off his jacket and hand it to Slate to wrap around the rucksack to make it a little bit more comfortable of a pillow. I think I'll stay up for the first watch tonight.
It's going to be pretty cold out there. We've got the fire in here at least.
I'll stay near enough to stay warm. I kind of like the chill of the desert.
It'll be fine out here with me.
So I'll nod and take it 100%.
Something is forgotten to Dash, but noticed by Slate. As you wrap the jacket around your rucksack and you put it down, a small piece of paper slips out. Marcus is alive, simply written upon it, folded neatly, in the pocket of Dash's jacket. It just slips out to the sand. It's nothing. Or the bottom of your tent. I don't know if you've got like a pitch tent, or if you've got a flat tent, like one of those.
I think it's just sand on the inside. Yeah.
I'm just gonna stop using words today. Yeah, just sand on the inside. So you curl up on the sand and the paper falls into it, kind of gently, almost placed within.
I suppose Slate was with Eos, so I'll just nod to Eos and exit the tent and get comfy for watch.
And Slate will, like that, lie down, go to sleep, and then as you're shifting to get comfortable and chopping and changing, just run the hand over the sand and just take the piece of paper, not necessarily trying to be stealthy, not drawing attention to it, just doing it in a movement amongst others a minute or two later, and then sitting for a minute, and then moving again, and then sitting for a minute, and then moving again, and then actually going to sleep.
You hold on to the paper. Marcus is alive. I panicked because I was like, did I say Dash is alive? I meant Marcus. Did I say Marcus earlier?
I hope Dash is alive.
Okay, Dash is also alive for now. But Marcus is alive, written on the piece of paper, a memory of something that you have done and given to him, but also a memory for Dash of something important. There's a few things to note in it. The paper is very well taken care of and maintained, although it is folded beautifully. It is very well maintained. It is something that he is holding on to and taking care of, and he is very loving about. This is clearly very important because it could have been put in his journal, it could have been put anywhere, but he keeps it in the chest pocket close to his own heart. Something that is something that's a symbol upon itself.
Having collected the paper, I think what I would do is just pick a pocket, any particular pocket on the jacket that's around the bag, and just put it back in. Doesn't matter if it's the right or wrong pocket, just into a pocket, put it back. Like I said, I wasn't trying to hide it when I picked it up, so I just stuff it back in, and not in a way that I'm not being reckless with it, but I'm not being particularly careful with it either. I'm just simply putting back something that's not mine.
Dash, I'd say when you put your jacket back on, because I will have long forgotten by then, you'll notice that it's not in the correct pocket.
Interesting.
Yeah. Whenever that is, that you get your jacket back off Slate and you put it back on. It's just something worth noting for you.
Next day, I hope.
Yeah, it's not like you're going to go in and take it right now.
Yeah. So just kind of sitting back out, just look to Madriana. Are we ever going to have a quiet day?
When you're dead, if you're lucky. If you're not so lucky, it might get noisier.
What do you think happens when we die?
I know of such things, believed, deities, minions, all that stuff. Didn't put too much favor into it until I was told that I was possibly descendant from angels. That was kind of weird.
Descended from angels?
That's what our wolfkin thought was my origins. It's funny though, because there's no one else in my bloodline like this.
You always
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, he struck me as a little bit devilish, to be honest. In a good way.
There's devilish, and there's devil. You're a bit devilish. I don't think you're a devil.
Ash just gives a little wink at that one. I've been thinking of Adriana. I need to go back to Palperoth for a bit.
That's the one. Impish. Sorry. Yes.
Impish.
You need to get a Palperoth.
Soon. Alone.
Is that to tell Mum that you're expecting?
Yes. And I feel like we as a group are a little bit like leaves in the wind at the moment with not much direction. I feel like I could probably get us better connected if I go home.
I know where I want to go. Just don't know how to get there.
Where do you want to go?
I want to go back to school.
Talk to Papa.
Don't give a shit about talking to him. Just want to make sure Remington and the other school kids are okay.
I never considered your father to be one to take such a public approach to his conquests.
That's not public.
Psycho no Toshi was fairly public.
No.
No.
There's maybe 30, maybe max 40 people that know what he actually looks like. The fact that we're not all dead, well, me is kind of different, but the fact that all of you are not dead is honestly quite a surprise. You don't usually get to see him and walk out.
That was my fear, actually, being in the room with him, which is why I was a bit more brash than even I usually am, because I honestly did not expect to be leaving. So I figured, fuck it.
Yes, fuck it is definitely the option with him.
That gentleman that you fought, how did he know who I am? I'm not exactly in with the Thieves Guild anywhere.
You know me. That's good enough for my father to know everything about you.
I don't know if that's concerning or comforting. Most of my ambitions revolved around keeping myself rather anonymous.
I wouldn't find it comforting. Not unless you're in his pocket. Right now, you're not in his pocket, but you're not out of it. So, just try and keep it steady, and hopefully he'll just pass over you like he does most people.
Bit of a spanner in the works, so to speak. I'd always thought the top of the tree was Ramseth, but clearly your father's pulling the strings. So if we do eventually get to bring about the societal shift that I think is needed for us all to live comfortably in this world, do we do that under the shadow of your father, or treat it separately? I don't know. Things get so fucking complicated.
If you truly want to shift things, he has to go too. Because if he's still here, they'll shift, but into a much, much more favorable direction for him.
Of course.
He doesn't want to be a king. He wants to be a god.
Yeah. Of course. That sounds like a sword he could fall upon quite easily if he's not careful.
I think that's why he's at the school. He's trying to find relics that will let him into the Hall of Heroes.
No chance he'll simply get turned into a golden statue, I suppose.
There was a fable I was once told about a man looking for a particular chalice. He sent thousands upon thousands of people to look for it. He ended up going there with a person that truly knew which chalice it was. It seems that he got too greedy by the end of it, that he decided to take a choice of his own. And supposedly he chose poorly.
And what happened? Did his skin boil off, exposing the skeleton beneath, and he just crumbled to dust? Or did he live happily ever after?
I think the base of the story was, don't be greedy.
Tell that to at least 50% of Balperoth.
Tell that to 99% of my guild. There's maybe a handful of people that I know of that are only in it because they can't get out of it. There's even less than that I trust.
Do you think that there is enough there that would, if they had an alternative, would try to get out?
It would have to be an alternative beyond reproach. If there was any possible way that my father could enact some sort of injustice towards them, they wouldn't go anywhere.
I'm going to speak with my old mentor in Balperoth and see what his connections are like.
Is he one of the guild?
Not quite. He's very much a man of his own making. But he's in the right circles to make the right inquiries and perhaps set up something a little bit more clandestine. So we're going to need allies and connections whatever we do next. And if we
And
can
are you
do
sure
so...
that he's not just another one under the thumb?
Quite sure. He was careful enough with me to not... He taught me to work adjacent to the guild, but not in it. You know, I operated as I wished, really, and aside from one or two minor crossovers where got under the nose of low-ranking members, never had any issues. So I think he's very much outside those circles, but in others that could help us.
Well, obviously I'm in the circle, but
You're
even
one of
I
the few
have
who
to
can
be
fly
careful.
free.
Well, I mean, that's ideally the goal. I want to use his empire to create better.
Needs two-pronged approach. Take it down from the inside and the out, or keep his eye focused on the outside while you climb from the inside.
Yes. I don't care for titles. I don't care for power. I just know there's a lot of suffering that doesn't need to be. I will say, if at some point we do take this to him, there is no one that I've ever read about or ever heard about as formidable as him.
Yeah, I got that impression. Did you ever feel like someone has gone so far down that road that it's beyond fear? Like, you can't even be scared of them because what they choose to do to you, it doesn't matter whether you're scared or not.
Do you know what that's called?
Lunacy,
No,
denial.
it's called having a faith. To know that something is so much more grander than you that you have no choice but to do as it wishes.
Oh, I'm not talking about doing as it wishes and talking about fucking it over because it doesn't matter if you do or not. You may as well try. Either way, you end up in the dirt.
Exactly.
He's just a man, right? A
For now.
powerful, wealthy, extremely tall man, but just a man all the same.
There's only one man that could ever rival him. And he's long gone.
Is that a tale you want to tell, or are you keeping that in the back pocket?
It's no secret. It's his brother.
You had a brother?
Hmm.
Now that is news to me.
He met his end to a raised threat.
Huh.
Honestly, it was about the only thing that could actually take him down.
Fair enough. We can do it though, right?
Do what?
Take your father down.
Like this?
Mm.
Not a chance.
No, long game.
What we really need to do is we need to get to these artifacts before he does. So I either need to get back home and see if I can find out where these things are that he's searching for. Or we know where one is right now because that's where he is.
I don't know if going back to the Crescent Pearl is the smart move. We need to discuss with the group.
It probably isn't, but it's an option nonetheless.
Very true. That camel's fucking loud.
That's not the camel. That's Eldrin.
Is that Eldrin? Oh my god.
I'm pretty sure he's got some sort of sinus infection by the sounds of him.
Could be
Could
the
be
sand.
the sand, yeah. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
We're only in this life for a little while. Might as well try new things. And with that, she'll stand up, stretch herself, and as she stretches herself, the wings also stretch out. And she goes and sits maybe 5 foot in front of Dash. She's still keeping an eye out. And she starts just pressing her wings into the sand and kind of shaking them and stuff and trying to replicate what she's seen birds do naturally to see if this is some form of dirt bath, for want of a better way of putting it.
Are you trying to get oil out of the feathers?
Is that what
generally
that's for?
Mostly oil and moisture. Yeah.
I never knew that.
There you go. Should feel
Does
a
it
little bit-
work?
For the birds, at least. I really don't know the composition of your feathers. But it should. Give them a good bury and shake. They should feel a little bit lighter. Almost like sanded off the rough edges of wood.
She'll stretch out, she'll sort of kind of half turn back to Dash and stretch out one of the wings so it's kind of like within like touching distance for Dash. Do they feel like the kind of wings you expect from a bird, though?
Do they feel like the kind of wings I expect from a bird?
Well, they don't feel oily, I'll tell you that. They feel like something celestial almost. Something different. You've touched birds in the past, but there's no way to
Richard.
There's no, god damn it, just cancel the session. There's no way to compare. There's no way to say this without triggering Richard too. There's no way to compare a small bird to a Madriana's wings. There's just no way to do it, okay? I've said it, it's out there, we move on. It's not something you've ever experienced before. Too frigid. Go ahead, sorry.
I had in my head almost that they had like almost like a satin kind of feel to them. Denser, thicker, but that kind of sheen almost.
The closest I could compare this to would be maybe one of the larger waterfowl, maybe a swan, maybe, but that's not quite right. It's definitely something separate and unique. So I'm not sure how much the sand bath will work for you. They seem to be just naturally clean. I could scratch an itch, maybe.
Oh, I was actually just about to say, it's getting a few parts that is usually kind of hard to itch and stuff. That's kind of nice, but I don't know. I'd never tried it, and I guess I wondered what all the fuss was about.
New things are always worth trying. Don't recommend it for hair, though. It's a bitch to get out.
My hair generally stays away, thankfully. And she'll stand up and kind of give that kind of, like that real heavy, like downlift kind of flat.
Thanks for that.
Don't make out it's not in your lungs already.
I mean, generally I wear the face covering during the day, but that's fine. I suppose we should do a perimeter and do what we're actually supposed to do on watch.
You mean you haven't been watching as well?
Well, loosely, but kind of blocked to the back here.
Wait, so you're telling me you didn't notice that scorpion that's about to sting your hand?
Ah!
As you turn to the side, you don't see a scorpion, but you do see two red eyes glowing in the shape of deer antlers suddenly appear and fade away.
Madriana, do you see that? Points directly at where
The
red eyes,
sand?
deer antlers.
You would have seen
No.
it in Adriana, yeah.
Okay.
And he called focus to it.
How far distance-wise?
5-10 feet.
And is it fading?
Quickly, yeah. Just
I'm throwing my
seconds.
dagger at it.
I was going to say, with a burst
goes
from my
through.
wings as they're out, I'm going to try and get to it to see if there's a density change.
yeah. Nothing really changes, it just goes through it like a ghost. A ghost.
I don't know what the fuck is going on with you, with him, with dead Weslyn that's now back to life, with every single thing that's going on here, but
That's what I saw in Arbore's as well. Something following us?
I mean, honestly, at this stage, I just happen to think that every single one of us is fucking cursed. Slate's playing with a book that's ultimately going to take his fucking soul, which we're desperately trying to save because apparently it was a fucking blackened soul in the first place. Algin's being kidnapped by God knows fucking who. It's probably some warrior for the fucking, I don't know, king or something, but he's just not telling us. Eos, I'm pretty sure, is going to erupt and explode and kill every one of us at some point or another.
She's standing over there with her book, just trying to slap the staff off the air to see what's happening.
He's actually, yeah, legit. I was about to call him,
Wingardium Leviosa.
I was about to say,
Leviosa.
it's like when Spider-Man first does it, like he's like up and away web.
yeah. Sorry, I made you carry on. Sorry.
Sorry? I honestly don't know what the fuck is going on because ultimately, since I met all of you, somehow my life has become much more complicated, which I really didn't think was possible. I have fucking wings and live in a city where everyone wants to either kill each other, steal from each other, or are just too scared to actually move. And yet you guys seem to be bringing more shit to me than I've ever known.
I have a feeling this wouldn't happen if we were all moving individually. Seems to be the collective is kind of the crux of something, if that makes sense. Almost like some greater beings brought us together.
Well,
Eos, did you see that? Now that we know Eos is awake.
the point. You probably noticed that Eos is slowly making her way out of the Dune Cave. The staff.
While you're doing that, you notice just Slate peeking out as well and just heading back into the tent.
I'm gonna go to Eos and I'm gonna give Eos the jacket.
Okay.
And just I'm rooting through my bag and I'm just gonna say give this to Dash and then just go back to where I was and go sleep. Because he's got to be cold out there.
Yeah, Eos will throw the jacket towards Dash's lap and keep walking.
It kind of just hits you in the face, like, whoa.
One of the sleeves just slaps him.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll just follow Eos briefly. You okay? Been a bit more short with me than usual today.
Looks around, checks see if anyone else is watching.
Madriana just gives you a nod and heads in as if she's going to go and rest herself.
I think Hatsu put it best. It's not just a one-man show. I know, I understand you may not have thought it at the time, but I would have appreciated maybe a quiet moment with my dad. I get it. You wanted to get information, find out what you could. I haven't seen him in a year. I'm very worried about him. It was brief. Yeah, I'm a little bit upset. Trying to process it. And this thing.
Tell me, Eos, what was left unsaid?
The quiet. The silence. Speaks the loudest. When you're in the same room with someone you love, that is the unspoken truth.
Yes. I apologize, first of all. Second of all, I believe that the greatest threat to happiness, yours, mine, collectively all of ours, is inaction. Moments in this world are like, he picks up a handful of sand. They're like grains of sand in this desert. You can either make something lasting with them or watch them scatter into the wind. You have a voice, Eos, a beautiful one, I might add, that deserves to be heard. And never let it be buried by anyone or anything, and certainly not by me. Do you carry any fear of me, Eos?
Not anymore.
Good. Then
Let's do-
don't hesitate to trim my branches if they block your light.
I'm not a tree surgeon.
It's a metaphor.
Oh.
Yes. In short, tell me to shut the fuck up if you need me to shut the fuck up. I'm more than happy to give you any space you need at any time. All you have to do is ask.
Okay.
Because in a quiet room with certain requirements, I will speak. It's what I'm built for, unfortunately.
You can also stab people and tear off their nipples. And break
That
babies.
I can. Yes. That I can. Don't be scared to stand up for yourself amongst friends, Eos. That's sometimes harder than standing up against enemies.
Okay. Could you stand back like 10 or 20 feet?
I can, yes.
Okay, because I don't know what this is going to do. Eos plants the staff into the sand. And she slowly starts turning it counterclockwise. The staff starts making a little The sand around her starts to kind of bubble up from the ground, starts swirling around her as she looks towards the stars. And she kind of talks a bit loudly towards Dash. You spoke of angels and demons. Let's see what I can do. And she uses Find Familiar to summon what she would name Ramiel. Small little kind of ghostly looking white fox thing with blue shiny eyes.
There was a part of me thought that you were going to try to kill me there. I'm not going to lie.
Don't worry about it.
I feel like I should. Hello, Ramiel.
He's a thing.
So everyone has magical pets now?
Don't know.
Is it a pet or is it wild?
He kind of lives in the staff, apparently.
Huh. Still no idea how to get it to bring us back to Arboris.
We have to talk about that. I'm working on it.
You'll get there.
I don't know, but I think it, and she taps the moon part, might need to rest like me.
Fair
the
enough.
Instructions book doesn't really clarify.
I'd offer to take a look, but that'll be any good.
Anywho, Ramiel, this is Dash. We'll meet the others soon.
Can I give him scritches?
Yosef's back. He's not sure how he's going to react.
I'll try to give Ramiel scritches.
You do. There's a few things you notice. There's shafts of light appearing from the moon on the staff, and that appears to be the light that brings Ramiel, for lack of a better term, into phase. The light from that staff seems to hold Ramiel here in some capacity. Not against its will per se, but before you. From wherever it came from, and wherever it may go, the staff appears to leash it, more or less. Almost as if you were watching a projector light from the projector itself to the image it creates. These little rays of light keep it going. But the creature itself is not translucent nor transparent. Well, slightly transparent, but it is not untouchable. You can pet it, you can certainly see it in a full dimensional scale. It isn't just a hologram.
So cool.
But there's more to it than that. Eos, the staff moves out of your hands and begins to fly. Madriana, you watch
Jeez.
as it pulls light from both moons, fueling the crescent energy of the staff itself. And Dash and Eos both fall unconscious in the sand.
For fuck's sake.
Is it still hovering there, grabbing light?
Yeah. Eos and Dash.
Hey, boss music.
You're aboard a ship in the rain.
Oh no.
Thunderstorms striking down. You board the ship. Eos, you see Weslyn sitting on a box. Dash, you you see Weslyn sitting on a box, chicken at his side. And you see as Commander Riker is trying to pull together everybody for what looks like a full-on assault.
Yes, what is this?
Oh, sounds gone. Oh, yes.
Weslyn?
So,
You're just about to get to the best part.
What the
The rain begins to fall.
Should we do something? It just looks...
Dash, it's cold, it's wet. The wood is slippery as the water crashes against the waves in a way that they don't seem surprised by, but you have never seen this.
Taking my daggers out and using one of them, trying to kind of anchor myself. Is this magic? Did we teleport?
this is the thing. This is the dream.
Dream, this looks much more like a nightmare.
Daytime.
DM, I'm just gonna cut my finger slightly. Does it hurt?
Yeah,
Ow. Are you sure? Because dreams don't hurt.
I'll go one step further. Madriana, as you approach the bodies, Dash's finger is indeed bleeding.
Can I slap him?
Yeah, Dash, you feel a very sharp pain on the side of your face, and you take a point of bludgeoning.
Ow. What the fuck was that?
Did you just slap yourself?
Can I try and go and cover
No.
the top of the stuff so it can't reach the moonlight?
Cover it with what?
I'm gonna fly up to it. If it's like solid in the ground, in the air, like a movable rod style, I put my wings over it to try and block the light.
And Madriana, as you fly up towards the staff, simultaneously, within the dream, a massive sea serpent blackens the sky above Dash, Eos, Weslyn, Riker, and the crew of this ship. You can smell it, Dash.
Fuck.
You can almost taste it. This strong, vile odor.
This seems very real, guys.
That's a race threat.
Yeah, should we do something about it?
There's nothing you can do.
So we just don't?
Well, Hatsu gave my dad a super sword.
Does he have the super sword?
Oh, he has a sword.
You two seem very relaxed about this whole thing.
I've been here a few times.
A few times?
Mm-hmm.
What happens?
Don't know.
Is your dad going to die? Are we?
You hear a sound as it begins to slam down upon you.
I try to stab it.
As you stick your dagger up and close your eyes, you're suddenly laying down in the sand. Eos at your side and a Madriana hugging the top of the staff with something cloaking it. Whether or not that would have killed you is very, very unclear.
Funny I wasn't so quick.
I
Is
will
that a
say this
regular
though.
occurrence?
Eos, Dash, and Weslyn, you are all soaking wet. Dash, your face hurts, and your finger is bleeding.
What?
You can't tell me that was just a dream.
It's never been just a dream. That's the problem. Just trying to shake off the sand, which is now stuck to the wet fabric.
It's just pissed about
This
it.
is... Oh, this is fucked.
Yeah, welcome to a part of my life, Dash.
You're on mute, right?
Is the staff out of the air now? Like, have I managed to bring it back
You
down?
brought it back down. It's resisting, but it's no longer keeping them unconscious or any kind of state.
Do one of you want to explain what the fuck is going on?
You also
I
try
would
and
love an
fix this out.
explanation.
Keep it covered. If it touches that fucking moonlight again, I have no idea what's going to happen.
Takes off the scarf and
So that's powered by moons?
maybe. You okay, Ramil?
I mean,
You have no visual on Ramiel as
Who?
the staff is covered.
Who are you talking to?
Slightly unwraps the top of the crescent moon.
Ramiel slightly appears.
that's Ramiel. She summoned a fox.
Yeah.
What the fuck
Convenient timing
is
on the bark.
wrong with you all? Like,
I don't know.
Whoa.
I've never seen it.
This was not me.
At this point, Weslyn, you're very awake and soaking wet as well. You can hear them bickering atop the hill.
This is how this is supposed to work. As far as
What?
I know.
how what's supposed to work?
Eldrin and Slate, you are both brought awake by that. Slate, you are holding onto the book.
Visual seals. Book is a seal. This is a seal. Are they perspiring? Are they wet? Are they? Is there any sign that they were a conduit for this wetness that we are drenched?
The item known as the seal is not wet, and the book is not wet. No. The staff is also not wet. Not that that was mentioned, but it was just that that was included in that process. I figured I'd explain it.
Just kind of pat himself and he'll like go to take out the note.
It's not in that pocket.
Just check the other ones.
You find it in a side pocket, but the ink on it is starting to run from the density of water.
Yeah, so just kind of flatten it out on the sand and just kind of blow on it and anything.
As you blow on the note, no, it is a
Yeah,
note.
does it dry it? I mean, does it stop
Oh,
the ink
I
running?
mean, the ink isn't like running massively. It just looks like wet. Like if you took pen and wrote it into the rain, it looks like that. It's not like permanently super damaged. It's just changed.
Fuck's sake.
I cast Detect Magic using Ritual Caster feat to activate it as a free spell.
Sure. Does that have to be done ritually? So it takes a few minutes?
No.
or-
No, it's a part of the feature or part of the feat. Allow the spell not at the ritual.
Sure.
So just out of instinct, just on a sweep on this, I'm going to scan the area. Are there any doors, portals, windows, holds, active or dying spells?
What's the range?
Conjuration. 30 feet.
30 feet. Oh, you see a great many things, Weslyn. Your tattoos change again. That's a given. Chicken changes again. That's a given. You see from Eos's staff, divination, transmutation, chronomancy, which is dunamancy, I believe it's called in D&D, in this 5th edition, and abjuration. Also, again, overwhelming aura from this thing, even though it's covered. Very, very powerful magic coming from it. Very similar to Hatsu's sword as he sits and meditates. His sword also puts off a massive, massive, massive aura. Remind me very, very quickly. Oh yeah, okay. And so yeah, Kazujoba is also giving off a powerful aura, but it's more orange hued. you see evocation, divination, and transmutation coming from it, and a strong sense of discipline and lineage, which is a strange thing to pick up through detect magic, but you do. From Slate, you pick up there's a few mundane magic objects floating around. I don't remember what's in the bag that Hatsu has, so I'm going to say that Hatsu's bag is lighting up as well, and I'm going to just dump a whole bunch of items in there because it's just easier for me than remembering who has what tiny little mundane item. But we'll say that it's conjuration, mostly coming from the bag, I think, because a bag of holding would be conjuration, I want to say. I can't for the life of me find the sheet that I'm looking for here. The book that Slate has, this might take me a second to find, I apologize. Oh yeah, okay, perfect. The book that Slate has is also emanating a lot of powerful magic. It would be enchantment, illusion, divination, necromancy. It would also be overwhelmingly strong, a much stronger magic than what is being used by the seal itself. Also a much fascinatingly older magic than is what is being used by the seal itself. The seal feels new. The book feels very, very old, in a horrifying way. It's surrounded by a cloud of writhing tendrils. The text on the cover is pulsing, like the actual skull on it is pulsing, like it is angry, dark, heavy, old, violent magic. It is something that haunts from, I mean, in D&D terms, 3.5e. It's something that is old as shit and is scary as shit, and they wouldn't let it in 5e because it's fucking horrifying. No, but realistically, it is a maelstrom of enchantment, illusion, and necromantic power that just fucking, that's one more thing on a pile of things to deal with. Adriana has a whole like some stuff as well. Her manacles, for example, they're emitting power.
But does he see through bags? Because if he doesn't, he won't see that.
I don't remember if it's a see-through object. It's a good question.
I have it. Visible creature or object.
Visible. Okay, so
Yes,
great. That saves me a lot of hassle because I was panicking to remember what everybody had.
If it's particularly strong, I mean, that's up to you. But
From me, he wouldn't see anything.
Wouldn't really see anything. No. I'm just looking at inventories here. I think Dash, your watch.
Chronomancy. I expect.
And the glasses, are you wearing them?
The glasses.
No.
Oh, you're not wearing them.
To save you some of the headache, he's discounting.
Just the basic things. Okay.
They're big, gigantic here.
Right.
But there's been a fold here. There's been something has inverted. It's alarming.
His watch is just divination. That's the last thing I'll point out. Just because I started it, I have to finish it. It's gonna make my brain break if I don't finish that thought. But yes, there's one more thing, of course, that you see, and that is a wide-eyed, fascinated creature that just screams this name into the back of your skull in the darkest, deepest, booming voice that is just Virethorn, and you don't know why. Why, when you look at this creature, does that keep happening? And it's this same migraine static every time you look at it, but there's this shocking memory of you've seen this thing before, a lot, everywhere. You've seen it at the Arcanum, but when the fuck were you at the Arcanum? You've seen it there, though. You definitely have. You've seen this thing in small spaces, in large spaces. You have seen this thing stand above mountains. You have seen this thing in a forest that you have no idea where the fuck that is. You see visions of chicken as a pup, and this thing was there for that. How do you know that? Like, how do you know that? Very strange.
Firethorn is here. That thing is Firethorn? Or is that thing an echo of Firethorn? Is it the deer creature?
It sure looks like it, and if it isn't it, that's impressive.
And it looks just as surprised as we are.
Oh, it's just no, it doesn't look surprised. It looks entranced by this. It is like it's almost salivating with excitement as it watches everything unfold around you.
We have to leave now. There's not a lot of time to explain. The only way out is through that Slate. Open the book.
I open the book.
Highly unorthodox, DM. Given that we just got spat out from an ocean that is supposed to be in the realm of dreams. In this moment with that staff and that moonlight, can we fold ourselves through?
Let's find out.
Points. All of you go.
Go where?
Are you sure, Wes?
Go.
What is happening?
Eos unwraps the staff.
Go!
Yeah, let's go.
I go up, press the button on the slot, it folds back up into my hand as all the sand was on top of it falls to the ground.
The tarps that were connected to it just fall to the ground. I would say if you're leaving this ship behind, I'll have to discuss it, but I would say mark off 3/10 for the moment from the bag of holding. I'll probably say it's busy to do that.
Eos will make sure Ramiel is going.
Ramiel is almost illusory caused by the staff, so where you go, Ramiel goes. You're fine.
Perfect.
What are we doing then?
I'm so confused.
Are we just running? What?
Points at the book again as he's moving, place himself between the book and Virb. The only way out is through. Go through the book.
Tight grip on that staff. She's going in.
I'm gonna turn the book, open it like that, so the pages are facing everybody else. So I'm with the cover to me and the book open to everybody else.
This is fucking nuts. We've already come through because of this stupid fucking book once and ended up here. Where are we going to go next? And why are we going, more importantly?
There's not enough time to explain this to you.
I'm just excited we want to use the book.
Slate, you'll see Eos going heels first into the book with the staff.
I'd love to see you just drop kick Slate, like...
Sorry. Right in the nose. Oh, God.
What happens?
Yeah, does she do some magic Jumanji type shit and get sucked in?
Did she break your heel?
So
I'm betting on.
describe to me very specifically how this looks and what you're doing, and do not miss a beat on your words, because if I'm giving you monkey paw DM rules here, you need to be very fucking clear what you're doing here.
Eos will, like a gymnastic run, she'll kind of run towards a point that she feels is right to jump, and she's going to try and jump herself in a way into a horizontal position to heels first, and she's aligning the staff with her body, so within shoulder width, everything, and hopefully Ramiel is going in.
So a drop kick.
Sure.
Okay, Liu Kang.
Wukong. Okay.
As you weird, a crazy black myth. As you run towards the book. Oh, it's strange, but that tarp wrapped around your staff begins to loosen before you realize it. This time the tear is not translucent and showing a new location, or just moonlight white. It's just dark and black, a distant void that you run into.
Yeah.
But you enter. It crackles with maleficent energy.
Hmm.
Who's next?
I start turning the book to face the people who are watching.
Smoke begins to pour from the book. Dark black
What does
and
Viathorn
heavier
do?
than the air. Oh, Viathorn is eagerly watching this. This is fascination beyond fascination. Unheard of territory. Nothing like this has ever been done.
This isn't a path I can follow.
If you guys are showing hesitation, Weslyn will back into time. Tell you to go one last time before he himself goes. Flee the creature that sits on the.
Weslyn, as you approach the book, your tattoos turn to words, turn to scripture. The ink from the pages leaks onto your skin as you were brought within as well.
What?
We're not actually doing this, right? This is ridiculous.
Those two
Where
are.
does this book lead? What's going
Nobody
on?
fucking knows. That's the problem.
Stick your head and find out.
Is that a joke, or like, are we actually?
Yes, it's a fucking
going?
joke. Are you crazy?
The portal crackles again and shrinks ever so slightly. You begin to hear the ticking from the staff that Eos wields, though distant it may be.
I did this once because Hatsu asked me to. I don't think I can do it again.
Is Hatsu going in?
I was about to ask, what's Hatsu doing?
I can't imagine. I speak for Busy here. I apologize, Busy, if I get this incorrect. You may discuss it with me during the week, but I imagine he gets in the book because he would never turn his back on Eos or Weslyn. Weslyn
And
has
that
slipped
was his
through
exact rationale last time. That's
Yeah.
exactly what he said last time, so I would imagine he would repeat the same behavior.
And Weslyn, he already let Weslyn slip through his fingers before, and he has displayed that he's not leaving Weslyn behind again.
If Hatsu goes, I put my hand on his shoulder as he's going. I say, I will follow you.
And chat saying can't argue against my arguments.
There we go.
I follow
Eldrin,
Hatsu.
You go in with Hatsu. More heavy smoke falls from the portal, which crackles again and gets even smaller still.
I'm going to start walking towards Dash and Amadriana slowly, just walking towards them with the book.
Ash is backing up. Looks to Madriana. I have somewhere else I need to be.
I'll turn to Amadriana with the book.
If you stay, Dash, then I'll stay too.
Don't, but I will find you. Dash will tear out a page and scribble Elendor's address. This is where I'm going. Write me a letter. Let me know where you are. And I'll find you when the time's right.
If we're not dead or in a different fucking dream, maybe.
At this point, I don't know what to expect from any of this. But in my experience, if you end up stuck as a statue or something, you can will yourself out of it, so...
I suppose we've all got to fucking die sometime. And she just put her hand in it and start walking through.
The smoke envelops Amadriana, pulling her in with little remorse.
Going to look at Dash, have a massive smile. I'm going to put the book flat on the ground, but I'm still holding it by the edges, and I'm going to do almost like a skip rope thing where I'm going to jump into it and try and close the edges on the way in. I don't know how that's going to work, but that's what I want to do. So I'm still holding onto it as I go in, because I'm thinking to myself that it closes and goes in on itself, so I will pull it through too. I don't know if that's going to work, but that's my thinking.
You jump into the portal, enveloped by the smoke. The book closes and then falls open again. The pages, one by one, tick open again. Dash, you stand staring at the book. What are you going to do?
I'd take my dagger. And walk up to the book. And just scoop onto the back page and fold it shut.
You try to. Until the smoke grips your hand.
Oh fuck, drop. Back up.
Master Heidmann.
I was hoping I would not be speaking to you anytime soon.
You won't be joining us today?
No. Not today.
Then perhaps...
Where are you taking them?
I'll join you. The form of smoke begins to take a body. He exhales slow and steady.
What have you done with them?
There's just calm as Vathros takes a deep breath. It's been so long since I've been able to breathe fresh air. He exhales slow and steady, like the last breath you'll take as a man. His skin pale, gray seeping into his flesh like the ink of a parchment. Veins rise beneath the surface in dark branching lines that pulse not with blood, but with something colder. He looks at you. His eyes cloud over, then clear again. Too clear, reflective like polished obsidian. No longer seeing, but consuming. His jaw slackens as bone shifts beneath. Muscle with a subtle crack moves. His neck suddenly shifts. He is flesh. Almost like a sculptor's hand, reshaping clay from the inside out. His lips split and peel back and his teeth fall, first in pairs, Then in silence, in their place, flesh of his lower face shudders and then opens, and tentacles bloom. 4 of them, Slick and Sinus. They unfold from beneath what was once his chin, and they curl as if tasting the air and just freezing for a moment, listening. A new mouth forms beneath them, hidden, ringed, with barbs and hunger. The man doesn't scream. There is no pain. There is no purpose as his skin takes on a purple hue. His eyes take on a darker form. His hands, no longer trembling, lift the hood of his robe calmly over his now elongated skull and a regal silhouette of ancient horror. He turns to look at you, and though he does not smile, you do feel it.
Thank you for freeing me.
Is this going to be a significant problem that I'm going to have to deal with?
It's a good question.
Master Heidmann, I have waited a long time for this. If I was a problem, I wouldn't be one that you could deal with.
What's next?
All this time I've spent locked away. It hasn't been fair, nor equal. I was imprisoned for thousands of life sentences for what I don't even believe are crimes. But now your friends, they exist in my prison. And I get to walk free.
See, that right there sounds like a problem that I'm going to have to deal with. Are you going to let them out?
I'm not the one who put them there. But I will tell you this, Heidmann. Slate was a friend to me when none of you were. I will strive to free him, because he strived to free me.
What would it take to free the rest?
Patience, time, and a worthy thrall.
2 of those I'm very short on. The third I don't understand.
I need to borrow you. Or at least a part
Borrow
of
me?
you. You don't have to trust me, but you trust Slate, don't you? What would you do to see your friends released?
Me in exchange for them?
It's not a price I put on the prison. That comes from your
Is that
friend, the Maleficums.
Is that a price that has to be paid? I'm not asking who put it there, I'm asking if that is the price.
His obsidian eyes turn golden, glowing as he communicates with you.
I did not put them there. This is not my prison. I simply walked out the door when it was opened.
And what do you need me for, exactly? I'll give myself up for them if I know they'll be free.
You seem eager to throw yourself into the void for them. But I am eager to free them from the void and leave none of you behind.
I mean, that sounds like the optimal situation. How do we make that happen?
I need patience, time, and a thrall.
You gotta work with me here, Vathros. Those are very vague requirements. I need specifics. I can't give you patience if I don't know what the fuck I'm waiting for. I can't give you time if I don't know how much of it you need. And I don't know what the fuck a thrall is.
This.
He places his hand on your head, and your whole body goes limp. Your skin goes purple.
Oh shit, I'm Eos.
Sick purple, not like Eos, sickly purple.
Like sick Eos.
To be fair, though, you are being touched by Vathros the Shadowed in his true form as he takes control of your mind.
Oh, he's not gonna like what he sees.
You'd be surprised what he's already seen. He picks up the book. He places it in your hands.
You're going to help me free your friends. This journey will not be easy. But you will help me. Whether you want to or not. And at the end of this, Mr. Heidmann, I will give you one final favor to repay you for allowing me this control. I will help you get your father back. Because I might be the only person who can walk in and out of that prison without being seen, noticed, or stopped. But for now, we will free the only friend I've had in 1,000 years from a fate worse than death.
That's where we'll end the session. Mr. Heidmann,
Right.
I'm going to be borrowing your body just for a little while before you go home.
We're fighting, dude.
It's gonna be fun.
Madriano's pissed. I can just feel it. Madriano's so pissed, man.
All I can say is this very, very, very much lends into the fact that she just doesn't trust Weslyn. The way that he came back and now doing this to us, like, with no explanation, just do this thing. Oh shit, now you're trapped. After he came out of an evil book. After he came out of an evil book. I'm interested to see how this gets reasoned. I am really interested to see how this gets reasoned.
Especially considering, Kian, this is your last session with us for just a little while. For a good cause, nonetheless.
Yes. He's going to get his nuts chopped off.
I'm not sure how much of it you want to say on stream, but you will be gone for a few weeks. And you'll be back
At
soon.
least. Yeah.
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
You'll be back in the future. In the meantime,
Hopefully.
I'll borrow you for a little while, and then I will make sure that, assuming you guys make it, that Dash is positioned properly in Palperoth, and we'll have a conversation about that too. But D&D being D&D, things may change.
I am shook.
And you shall remain shook for many weeks.
You mean you are squid?
I am
Squidling, to be fair.
I'm squid. I
No,
have squid.
squidlings are gnomes that get turned
Sure.
into mind flayers.
Fair.
So he's not a
I was a-
squidling.
I have a question though.
Squid long because he's so tall. Sorry, go on.
Does time pass normally in this book?
Such a good question for 1 week from today.
Ha!
So
I
we
will
can feel
ask
like we're in
every-
there for fucking months and it's like a day.
Oh, don't worry.
Hey, short rest.
You guys will
That's
have,
all I'm saying.
You guys
Or long
will have
rest.
lots of questions and answers next week.
Unlimited time
Long
rest.
rest.
We will have Hatsu
It's
back
probably
next
fine.
week, which I believe, which is good. However, I believe we're missing Dash and Slate next week. Is that right? That's next week. So
Obviously, Slate's in the book and Dash is being mind controlled, so yeah.
And then the week after that, we got no session.
Breaky break.
the week after that, we do have a break in our usually scheduled programming. We won't be having a session that week. But all of that information can be found on our Discord on the events page. It will tell you everything there, except who's in it, because we just tell you that. But so far, so
Fear
that
not,
should be
we
it.
have extra play, so yeah.
We do. Mr. Rory is starting a Doom
Streaming
playthrough,
tomorrow.
and I believe Kyle is playing Minecraft, which is pretty good. With me and hopefully
Yes,
Rory.
and I got my new setup
me. Okay.
today.
Nice.
So yeah.
Speaking of new setups,
I've
Mr.
two-
Rhino
I've-
as well on that bandwagon. I'm excited for you, pal.
Yeah.
Oh, mega PC.
And we will be picking up next week. We'll be picking up pretty much from this side, the other side of the book, with our party as we move forward. Interested to find out how they get on and where they go, but we do have a post show, so if you have any questions or if you want to ask anything, feel free to ask our cast anything you want. Hopefully we have Kian with us for the post show, because this will be his last one. So no post show, you're done, you gone?
Yeah, not for me this evening.
What the hell? Okay, we have no Kian for the post show.
Unfortunately, I need to dip as well.
Okay, we have a very small post show, but you can you can ask the crew some questions, and we'll gladly do our best to answer. We'll be back shortly. Thank you so much for being with us here today. We love you very much. Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye. Love you, podcast.
Bye. We love you all.